The Yankees got the 1988 season off on the right foot yesterday with a convincing 8-0 bombing of the defending world champion Minnesota Twins. The Bombers' bats were in mid-season form. Mike Pagliarulo provided the early heroics with a home run, and Rickey Henderson got into the act as well. Today, the Yankees will look to keep the offense going as they try to make it 2 in a row against Minnesota. That's the Yankees and the Twins. Opening day 2 at Yankee Stadium, coming up next right here on Sports Channel.
Sports Channel presents New York Yankees baseball. New York Yankees baseball is brought to you by Budweiser, Beechwood Age, for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By your Tri-State Toyota dealers who invite you to come in and test drive a Toyota and ride with the best. By the Whiz, nobody beats the Whiz. By Dodge, for 1988, it's gotta be a Dodge. By 9X Yellow Pages, if it's out there, it's in here. By today's TWA, find out how good we really are. And by New York Telephone, public phone.
From Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York, Sports Channel presents New York Yankees baseball. This afternoon, the Yankees versus the defending world champion, Minnesota Twins. Hi, everybody, and welcome to beautiful Yankee Stadium. I'm Ken Harrelson, along with Bobby Mercer. A little different day today. Yesterday, it was just gorgeous, sunshiny. But, Bobby, even with a little cooler temperature, overcast afternoon, still no diminishing the optimism and the enthusiasm of the Yankees after yesterday's victory.
Sun is still shining in the Yankee clubhouse. I was down there this morning, and everybody's happy-go-lucky, and they got a right to be. They played good baseball yesterday. They got a strong performance from their mainstay of that pitching staff, Rick Rhoden, a 3-hitter. First shutout since 1974 when Mel Stottlemyre pitched a shutout for the New York Yankees, and they did it with the bats, too. So the Yankees got a lot to be proud of and a lot to look forward to for 1988 compared to the way they played yesterday.
Well, let's talk about the rotation here. All of a sudden, it was Rhoden yesterday. It's going to be Candelaria today. Tomorrow it'll be Richard Dotson, then Al Leiter and Tommy John. And this was done with a purpose. Why don't you tell the people exactly what Billy Martin had in mind?
Well, Billy, originally he had to set up Rhoden and then Dotson. The two guys that he's expecting to get at least 200 innings or more pitched this year for 1988. He figured if he staggered Candelaria and Leiter that he wouldn't have to use his bullpen as much. In other words, Candelaria, who's mainly a 5- or 6-inning pitcher, and Al Leiter, you just don't know how many innings he's going to go. So to stagger the two guys there, he doesn't have to go to his bullpen. If he gets the 200-plus innings out of Rhoden and Dotson this year, then he can rest his bullpen a little bit by staggering those two pitchers.
Well, one of the things, too, is working that bullpen in that respect. Another reason, too, is because of the fact you don't want somebody coming in who is the same. It gives the hitters, the opposing hitters, a little different slant. For an example, Tommy John, following Al Leiter, gives Tommy more of an advantage simply because of the fact he's going to go with a sinker, where Al Leiter is a high, hard fastball pitcher. Then all of a sudden, now these guys have got to make a big adjustment off those two.
Well, it's an adjustment for a team if you're going to see a fastball pitcher and then a kind of a cunny thumber like Tommy John is. Yes, it makes a big difference as far as the adjustment is concerned.
Well, just a beautiful opening day yesterday, a brilliant 3-hit shutout by Rick Rhoden, and we'll be back with more right after this.
Okay,
As they get set to exchange lineup cards at home plate, we talked about that brilliant 3-hit shutout yesterday by Rick Rhoden. Our partner Ed Randall had a chance to talk with the Yankee ace right-hander. Right now, let's go down and join him.
Thanks so much, Hawk. When you want to look at the good start of Rick Rhoden yesterday, a 3-hitter, a walkless complete game, certainly one of the elements that you have to point towards is the fact that he threw 35 innings in spring training this year. Last year, Rick, only 8 innings due to a muscle strain, and I would imagine you got the type of work that you needed at Fort Lauderdale.
Well, I think, spring training, you like to get down there and get the innings in to get comfortable on the mound. I usually pitch around 30 innings somewhere in there in spring training, and this year I ended up with 4 games where I pitched 6 innings or better at the end of spring training. So I felt pretty strong going into yesterday's game. I didn't know if I'd be able to pitch 9 innings or not, but I knew I could give a good 7.
A lot of pop-ups yesterday.
Yeah, that's unusual for me. I had a pretty good fastball for me yesterday, and seems like every time I got a ball up in the strike zone that they hit, they didn't foul it off. They popped it up to the infield or, short outfield, and I'll take the outs any way I can get them, but normally I throw more ground balls.
The Twins battered you around pretty good last year. You were 1-2 against them with an ERA of better than 7. Now, this is essentially a team, Rick, that has not really changed much of its personnel, if at all. And yesterday, you mastered them.
Well, sometimes baseball's a funny game. Last year, I pitched against them 3 times, and I never felt like I had very good stuff any game I pitched against them. Yesterday's by far the best stuff I've had against them, and I pitched a much better game, obviously. But again, 2 of the 3 games I pitched last year are up in the Metrodome, and that's very tough playing up there.
Make any adjustments yesterday? I saw you throwing the changeup a lot.
Well, I threw a lot of sliders yesterday, which I don't throw that much, but I couldn't get my curveball over, so I had to get some kind of break and pitch over, so I threw more sliders. And I think the key was just not walking anybody once we got the lead, because they have some firepower here, and you want to make them earn everything they get. So I didn't walk anybody after we got the lead, and I think that was the key.
It's nice that in your 4th attempt at an opening day victory that you finally get one, because I know you had 3 previous attempts.
Yeah, I'd pitched well in a couple of those other ones, even though the statistics don't look like it. I pitched well in a couple other starting games and didn't win. But again, it was just opening day, and I've always pitched well, usually my first game of the season. A lot of them aren't opening days, though, and yesterday's the first opening day I ever had at home, and it was good to get the win for everybody.
Were you nervous?
Not really. You're more anxious to get it going. You anticipate it. You wait around for all winter for it, and that's what we go to spring training for, and it's just good to get it behind us.
For one day at least, everybody talking about the Yankees starting pitching being the weak link, you certainly dispelled that. Continued success.
Thanks a lot.
Rick Rhoden. Now let's go back up to Bobby Mercer.
All right, thank you, Ed, and we'll be back with the start of today's ball game and the lineups right after this.
Okay, bring it forward a little bit. Keep it coming.
It ain't gonna fit, Charlie.
Just trust me. Hold it there. Just lower it a little bit.
Charlie,
Hold
it ain't gonna fit.
Take it easy. Just be gentle with it.
Okay,
It'll be
okay.
fine. Just lower it
It
a
ain't
little
gonna
bit
fit.
more.
Okay.
Just lower it.
Sorry, Charlie.
Take it easy.
Okay, I knew it wouldn't
Wait,
fit,
get
Charlie. I knew
it up.
Come on, I knew it wouldn't fit. No way.
If it's out there, it's in here.
I knew it wouldn't fit.
The 9X Yellow Pages. Why would anyone need another?
Back at Yankee Stadium, we're about ready to get underway, and quickly we'll go over the lineups. First of all, for the visiting Twins, Dan Gladden leads it off in left field. Greg Gagne will follow him, followed by Kirby Puckett. Gary Gaetti will be batting 4th today. Gene Larkin, Tom Brunansky, Tim Laudner, Mark Davidson, and then Al Newman. And Candelaria is about ready to toss the opening pitch, so we'll go over to the Hawk for the play-by-play.
Thank you very much, Bobby. And once again, good afternoon, everyone. So happy you could join us. First pitch of the ball game from the big southpaw, John Candelaria, is a curveball and an over. Dan Gladden, 0 for 4 in yesterday's opener. Last year, 249 hitter, 8 homers, and 38 RBIs. Fastball tails outside, and the count evens at 1. Gladden, 30-year-old veteran, coming over last season from the San Francisco Giants. That's hard hit, base hit into center field. Quadell Washington goes over, so Gladden, 25 stolen bases last season. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Greg Gagne. And once again, in case we know a lot of you keep score with us as the game progresses, we'll go over the lineups. Top 3 of Gladden in left, Gagne the shortstop, Puckett in center. Middle 3 of Gaetti at third, Larkin at first, Brunansky the designated hitter. Bottom 3 of Laudner the catcher, Mark Davidson in right, and Al Newman the second baseman. Right off the bat, we have a chance to see what manager Tom Kelly wants to do as the Yankees figuring something along the same lines right there, Bobby. See if he wants to get some action going in a hurry after yesterday's shutout.
Well, Gladden, really, you take a look at Tom Kelly, the manager of the Minnesota Twins. He's not a guy that really gets excited a lot. Gladden represents speed over first.
There's a fastball up a little bit in the zone, which is something that Candelaria, prior to the game, said he did not want to do against this ball club, as they are a good high fastball hitting team. young and aggressive.
It's exactly what he did to Gladden, and Gladden lined the pitch into center field.
One of the things about Candy with this particular club, now he can pitch up if it's a setup pitch for the most part, after he's shown him some stuff down. But he cannot pitch up in the strike zone. He's got to get on top of that strike zone vis-a-vis Rick Rhoden in yesterday's ballgame.
Well, especially against right-handed hitters, because he'll throw the ball, the sinker, down and away from the right-handed hitters, and then he'll try to jam him with the slider, and he'll use the changeup. He's got a new changeup that he's working on. It's actually a split-fingered fastball, but it's used basically as a changeup. He learned that from Donnie Moore when he was with California.
1-2 pitch, hung that breaking ball, made a mistake right there, especially way on top in the count like that, and got away with it. But Candy has had good success against Minnesota. Last year in 4 starts against the Twins, he was 3-1 with a 1.42 ERA. And career-wise is 4-1 against Minnesota. There's that good breaking pitch down and in. So Gagne right there has only got himself to blame. He got a mistake, missed it, and then Candelaria punches him out.
Well, you were talking about it, Hawk. That's the way he sets these hitters up, and a good slider down and in on Gagne. Looked like a Ron Guidry type of slider back in the early 70s, only not quite as hard, but right. Breaking ball.
Here's the center fielder, Kirby Puckett. Puckett, 1 for 4 in yesterday's action. Last year, 332, 28 homers, and 99 RBIs. And the time is called. They call the balk right there. There's home plate umpire Nick Bremigan. So the Yankees see for the first time in '88 the balk rule called.
Well, we'll see if we can't pick it up. You're supposed to come to a complete and discernible stop. Oh, he moved his shoulders. Yeah, he balked with his shoulders. The new rule is implemented this year is that you have to come to a complete and discernible stop with both feet on the mound and with both hands on the baseball.
Well, as you mentioned, that one had nothing to do with the new rule. That was a balk 15 years ago. When you turn those shoulders like that, as he gets a curveball in and over in the count, 0-1 to Puckett.
Well, I think we're talking about the same balk that they're trying to implement this year, 15 years ago. The same rule, anyway.
That's about right. Outfield shaded to the right. Fastball up out of the strike zone. Puckett can't get it, and the count quickly 0-2. "34-year-old veteran, 6'6", 225 pounds, out of Brooklyn, New York. Candelaria had himself a good spring. Had a record of 2-0, 3.18 ERA, and his longest stint during the spring was 6 innings. He's got a lot of room right here. There's a lot of room. Puckett likes to go the opposite field, likes to protect the plate. You can see him well off the plate. Just don't want him to hit a mistake. Count remains no balls, 2 strikes.
Well, let's see what happens. Candy has stayed outside on Kirby Puckett with an 0-2 count with the last 2 pitches. Just if he doesn't come back with that breaking ball down and in like he struck Gagne out on.
But not for the strike.
No, he wants to try to get it out of the strike zone and out of the area where the Puckett could put the good part of the bat on.
Gladden at second. After that leadoff single, then the balk by Candelaria, in case you just tuned in. Made a mistake right there, got the breaking ball up, and got away with it. Checking the Yankees defensively for you in the outfield, Henderson in left, Claudell Washington in center, Dave Winfield in right. Around the horn, Mattingly at first, Randolph at second, Rafael Santana, the shortstop, Pagliarulo at third, and the battery of Skinner and Candelaria. Breaking ball, quick throw down to, wow, that almost took Gladden's shoulder right off.
Well, that was a misplay right there because I think Skinner had a play on. Santana did not pick it up at shortstop. He wasn't even close to the bag. And the ball almost hit Gladden in the back. And if it does, now we'll take a look at it.
Well, there was double jeopardy right there as well, because Nick Bremigan, the home plate umpire, as Skinner was coming up, it certainly was a preset play. And Skinner coming up, Bremigan had no chance to see the pitch itself.
Well, it was a preset play, only it was a misplay by the Yankees because Santana did not cover the bag. They had a meeting at home at the mound, and they talked it over.
Raphael missed it. A ball and 2 strikes. 1 out here in the top of the first inning. Got him. High fastball, well up out of the strike zone, and that's out number 2.
Well, he just throws the ball by Kirby Puckett. Now, Candy does not have the velocity, as you were saying, to pitch up on the Minnesota Twins, but he's got to keep the ball out of the strike zone. He put some mustard on it. Kirby couldn't get on top of that fastball if he had to. He'd have to get a ladder.
Here's the third baseman, the cleanup hitter, Gary Gaetti. 0 for 3 yesterday. Breaking ball, checks up. He did not go, says Rick Reed at first base. Gaetti last year, 31 homers, 109 RBIs. MVP in the championship series. And of course, his teammate, Frank Viola, yesterday's starter and loser for the Twins, MVP in the World Series. There's that change. Way out in front was Gaetti, and the count evens at 1. On deck hitter, the first baseman, Gene Larkin. Outfield spread out just a shade for Gaetti as that fastball up and away. 2 balls and a strike. Gladden just a decent lead at second base. As now the count evens at 2. I'll say one thing. I love to watch Minnesota hit. Boy, they come out of that dugout ready, don't they?
They sure do. They don't let anything go by. They don't believe in walks. They come out hacking, like you say.
The old Bible passage, thou shalt not pass.
Hey, if you played in the Homer Dome, you'd come out hacking too.
Turned it over on him, took a little something off. Full count to Gaetti. Still has a lot of room in this situation right here. You do not want a man who is a legitimate slugger to hurt you when you've got a relatively newcomer, Gene Larkin, on deck. So he still has room to make a good pitch. Just missed with a fastball. Candy wanted it. And Gaetti draws the base on balls. That'll bring up the first baseman, switch hitting Gene Larkin out of Astoria, New York. A graduate of Columbia University. And some interesting stats on this young man. 25 years old, 6'3", 205 pounds. Broke all of Lou Gehrig's record. All of his records at Columbia. Takes a breaking ball. Pretty good pitch to hit right there as Candy got the curveball up. Another breaking ball just misses down and in. And the count evens at 1. In 85 games last year for Minnesota, Larkin, 266 hitter, 4 homers. He knocked in 28. Good fastball, just nipping the outside corner. And Candelaria on top of ball and 2 strikes. I'll tell you, when you break all of Lou Gehrig's records, you've done something, Pards. Got him fastball out of the strike zone, so Candelaria escapes the leadoff single by Gladden. The balk strikes out the side. Nothing across. There was a hit, no errors, a man left. After a half inning of play, Minnesota nothing. Yanks coming up.
Well, the Twins did not score the top half of the first inning. Yankees coming to bat here in the bottom of the first inning. Their lineup looks like this. Leading off and playing left field, Ricky Henderson. Batting second, Willie Randolph. Batting third, Don Mattingly at first base. Mike Pagliarulo moves up into the cleanup spot today, and after that big 3-run home run yesterday off of left-hander Frank Viola, he gets a chance to hit fourth. Claudell Washington will play center field at bat fifth. New York's first game-winning RBI went by Dave Winfield. He'll bat sixth and play right field. Jose Cruz gets his first start in 1988. He's the designated hitter. Joel Skinner behind the plate, batting eighth. And Rafael Santana, Mr. Triple Play. Knocked into the first triple play of 1988. Rafael Santana did yesterday. Round the horn. 5-4-3 by Santana. He'll play shortstop that night. We mentioned, take a look at the defense. For the Minnesota Twins, Gladden in left field, Puckett in center field, Mark Davidson in right field. He has a good arm out there. Larkin will play first base today, along with Al Newman, new second baseman. Gagne is shortstop, Gaetti. And in the battery for the Minnesota Twins, Laudner the catcher, and right-hander Les Straker.
Straker, 26 years old, 6'1", 193 pounds, out of Maracay, Venezuela. See the numbers on him last year, 8-10, 4.37 ERA. Had that one complete game against the Yankees in '87, and career-wise, he was 1-1. So Ricky Henderson will lead it off. Ricky, 1 for 4, a big 2-run homer. That made it 6-0 and put the game, well, virtually out of reach for Minnesota, especially the way Rick Rhoden was pitching yesterday. There's about a 57-footer. He starts him off with a curveball. Straker at times can throw hard, but being a youngster, his problem has been the inconsistency and that being control.
And one of the problems that he has with his pitches, that being the curveball, we just saw that there. He lets that curveball go a lot into the dirt. Best pitch is the fastball.
That's down low, and Henderson quickly on top, 2-0. Ricky last year, good success against Minnesota pitching. He did .391, couple of homers, and he knocked in 6. Chopper, Gaetti, long peg, Larkin. Now we'll put it on Henderson, and there's one out.
If Henderson had been running, and I think that Larkin would have had a problem tagging Henderson coming down the line because Gaetti's throw was high and up the line. So if Henderson had been running hard all the way down the first baseline, he may have been on.
You probably would have seen a nice collision there. Here's the co-captain, Willie Randolph. Willie, in yesterday's action, first time up, struck out, then doubled, and singled twice. So Willie 3 for 4 in the opener. Takes the breaking pitch on the outside corner. 1 strike. Straker in the spring pitched just 18 innings. In 4 starts, he had a record of 2-2, 3.50 ERA. There he hits the outside part of the plate with a fastball. And Randolph in the hole, 0-2. Outfield shading Randolph towards right. Pretty big gap between Gladden in left and Puckett in center. Breaking pitch just misses. Try to nibble with him just a bit. And the count 2-2. Really, that great start yesterday. That was his 13th consecutive opener in pinstripes. Jammed him with a fastball. Gagne has time. 2 gone. As this is opening day 2, something of a novel idea by the Yankees in 1988. Yesterday, of course, the opening day 1. Today, this was for kids. Mickey Mouse threw out the first ball.
That's the reason the Candyman is pitching today.
Here's Mattingly. Takes a fastball strike. Outside part of the plate. turn that one over a shade. 1-1 to count. And part of the game, too, just a lovely little girl, the singing star of Les Miserables, Donna Vavona, sang the national anthem, did a terrific job. 2 balls and a strike to the hitman.
Quite an impressive stat right there.
Polistrengo Mattingly had him way out in front, and the count evens at 2. Don yesterday, 1 for 4, had a double, and knocked in his first run of the season. Got him. Good change right there by Straker, so he has himself an easy 1-2-3 inning. After 1 inning of play, there's no score.
Why, right now.
Top of the 2nd inning, no score, as Tom Brunansky, the designated hitter, fouls the first pitch out of play right side. Brunansky, 1 for 3 in yesterday's action. Last year, 32 homers, 85 RBIs. Outfield spread out straight away. Pags comes in, now goes back a couple of steps as Candelaria wanted the off-speed pitch, didn't get it, and it's 1-1. Good-looking young 27-year-old outfielder as he pops this one up into short right field. Here comes David. 1 gone. Minnesota coaches at first base, the veteran Major League Coach Wayne Twilliger, and over at third, Rick Rennick. Here's the catcher, Tim Laudner. Laudner did not play yesterday. Last season, hit 191, 16 homers, and knocked in 43. Breaking ball misses. Washington playing Laudner over towards right center field. And in case you did not see yesterday's actions, we'll go over, you see the gap right there, we'll go over the new dimensions of the stadium for you in just a second. That's up high, 2-0. Down the left field line, it's 318. And about 25 feet out, they started the new fence, and it jets straight out for a while over to the 399 mark in left center field as Laudner cannot get the fastball. 2-1. There you see the way the stadium has changed since 1976. Last year 312 down the line, this year 318. So indeed, it is going to be much nicer for right-handed hitters. Used to be Death Valley.
Next thing you know, they're going to be putting up a blue monster in left field.
No, I don't think you'll see that.
I tell you what, that seems so short out there now compared to when I played here in 1965.
2-2 pitch out of play.
Well, let's see, 430 in left center field. When I played here in 65, it's 399 now, so that's 31. How many is that?
I'll tell you, I don't know. I just know coming
I know
in
it's
here,
a long ways when you're hitting a baseball.
I used to hit my best bolts out there in left center, just can of corn. Change up. Good pitch by Candy. 2 out. I remember staring every time you go to the plate here. You'd stare that center field sign of 461 right in the face.
Hawk, I used to play you in center field. I used to play you in short right center. That's where I'm playing. You didn't want to have any. You didn't want to have anything to do with 430. Don't give me that.
That's where you played everybody. Here's the right fielder, Mark Davidson. I still can't get over the fact that you came up as a shortstop. That is utterly amazing.
Isn't that wonderful?
Unbelievable.
It is.
I assume that scout is no longer working with the New York Yankees. Fastball misses. 1-1 to Davidson.
The only thing I can say about that, Hawk, is the scout, bless his heart, he's gone from us now, but Tom Greenwade.
Oh, he signed some good ones.
He signed another guy by the name of Mickey Mantle.
Signed some good ones. 2 balls and a strike.
I'll leave it at that.
Enough said. But shortstop, even Tom could make mistakes. He goes through that one. So Candelaria evens up the count at 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Here in the top of the second, no score. Davidson seeing his first action as Candy got in on the fist with the breaking pitch. Ricky Henderson. That'll do it. 1-2-3 for the Candyman after a inning and a half from Yankee Stadium. Day 2, no score.
Make it easy on yourself.
It's the Yankee half of the second inning, and along with Bobby Mercer, this is Ken Harrelson from beautiful Yankee Stadium. As you look at some of the crowd on Kids Day, the Kids opener for 1988. Les Straker here in the bottom of the second will face Pagliarulo, Washington, and Winfield. Les in the first inning, a couple of easy ground balls and a strikeout. Nice round of applause for Pags, that big 3-run homer off the tough left-hander Frank Viola. In yesterday's action, that made it 4-0. Takes a curve ball, a little high, in the count 1-0. Puckett very deep in center field as he took something off that pitch. Pags way out in front. The breaking pitch for Straker against the Yankees is the big pitch, Merce. He's got to show it to him. He's got to get it over. He's got to establish it in their minds that he can get it over.
Well, you can't pitch the Yankees the same way all the time. You've got to mix your pitches up. He has 4 quality pitches. Fastball, curveball, slider, and the change. Looks like his fastball's running pretty good right now, too.
There it is right there. Got it in on the fist of Pags, who tried to inside out him. And the count evens at 2. Well, there's no question about the Yankees and how to go about your business with them. They are a much better fastball hitting team. In fact, they're not a good breaking ball hitting ball club.
Who is?
You got a couple of clubs around that can handle it. Toronto's got some good breaking ball hitters.
Toronto's got a bunch of all-around type of hitters, but breaking ball's the toughest pitch to hit.
That's by the first baseman Larkin. He did not get a good jump on it. Down into the corner. Now the ball hits the edge of the stands. Kicks away from Davidson, and Pagliarulo in with a double.
First hit for the New York Yankees, a fastball up in the strike zone by the first baseman Larkin, down in that corner. Boy, you really got to know how to play the right field corner here at Yankee Stadium because it can get caught up. You see Larkin here, he makes a good effort at it, but he couldn't come up with it.
He made a good effort after a bad jump. He took a little half counter step to his right and then tried to break back to his left, and it was too late. So now it'll be up to Claudell Washington to either knock him in or get him over. Claudell in place of Roberto Kelly, who had such a fine opener yesterday. Takes a fastball high in the count 1-0.
The hitter right here has to look for a pitch that he can pull to the right side, especially a left-handed hitter like Claudell Washington. You've almost got to give the pitcher the first strike if it's not in the zone that you're looking to hit the ball towards the right side.
Unless it would be something in the off-speed variety where you can go out and hook it just to get the little ground ball. But again, we talked about it yesterday as that pitch in and over. Claudell says, no, thank you, to Nick Bremigan. But the count evens at 1. Now, with Claudell, certainly his job is to get him over. But also in different instances, when you get a Mattingly up there, or you get a guy like a Boggs, a lot of times you don't want them to try to think about giving themselves up just to get him over. Let those guys go ahead and hit. That fastball high in the count 2-1.
I think every hitter, a Boggs or a Mattingly, though, you don't have to tell those guys to remind them that they got to look for a pitch that they can hit to the right side. They're going to do that on their own.
Claudell gets the job done. Got the pitch in on the fist, but still got the head out. One away. Pags moves into third. That'll bring up the right fielder, Dave Winfield. David knocked in the first run of the ball game yesterday with that single in the 4th inning after the leadoff double by Willie Randolph. Winfield had a whole bunch of problems with Minnesota pitching last year. Hit him at just 190. 1 homer and knocked in just 4 runs. Had a pretty good pitch to hit right there. Looking for it, got it, and just could not put it in play.
Yeah, it's unusual that Straker would give Winfield a good fastball to hit. I think you'd normally see Straker throwing Winfield a lot of breaking balls. But, you know, Jose Cruz, a left-handed batter, hitting behind Winfield has a lot to do with the way Straker's going to pitch Winfield, too.
Well, Minnesota has some good scouts. They always have had. That's been one of the strong points of the organization. And they have scouted this ball club. They knew they were opening up with them. So what they see and what other people see might be 2 different things. But I know one thing. They saw Cruz swinging the bat down there in spring training. He hit 467. Breaking ball misses. And Winfield gets the edge right here as the count moves to 2-1.
Now, if Straker throws Winfield a fastball, he'll try to get up and in on him. He doesn't want Winfield to get those long arms extended out over the plate.
Outfield straight away and deep. Bad pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, it's not a bad pitch now because Winfield swung at it and missed.
Gaetti about 4 steps off the line, back about 3 at third. Hung him a curveball, hit deep to left field. Gladden back, right at the warning track, makes a beautiful catch. But Pags will tag. He'll score, and the Yankees lead it 1-0. What a play by Dan Gladden.
Well, Straker makes a bad pitch to Winfield. He got the Yankees started yesterday with the first game-winning RBI. He does so again today. Yankees go out in front, but Gladden makes a spectacular catch in left center.
Here's the 40-year-old veteran, Jose Cruz. Little check swing, comebacker to Straker. He'll go to Larkin, and that'll retire the side. But the leadoff double by Pagliarulo. Winfield knocks him in with a sacrifice fly. After 2, 1-0 New York. Top of the 3rd inning. Yankees on top 1-0. And the switch-hitting second baseman for Minnesota, Al Newman, will lead it off. It'll be Newman, Gladden, and Gagne to face the big southpaw, John Candelaria. He takes a fastball strike and a count 0-1. Newman, good speed. Top Minnesota hitter against Yankee pitching last year at .320. And limited action, he also had 15 stolen bases. So as you can imagine, the corner's in close. Pags in at the cut of the grass. And Mattingly just about 2 steps behind the line at first. Pops him up. Right side, Randolph.
Left fielder, Dan Gladden.
That'll bring up the left fielder, Dan Gladden. Gladden led it off in first with a base hit. Then was balked to second base by Candelaria. Not one of the new variety, in case you just tuned in. That was a legitimate balk, and Candy left him right there. Gladden, a feisty type player. Was the leadoff man that Minnesota had been looking for so long. That ball hit up the middle, and Santana could not get there. Maybe Flea Hopper. Looks like Raffy got a good jump on that one at all.
Well, Santana was playing Gladden to pull the ball, And he just could not recover fast enough. The ball was hit up the middle. It wasn't hit that hard, but it was hit in a good spot. Santana could not catch up with it.
Well, he'll play a lot of guys to pull, even guys maybe who are not that pull hitter. He has trouble going to his right. He goes much better to his left, so he cheats a couple of steps that way. Here's the shortstop, Greg Gagne. Strikeout victim on a good curveball down and in from Candelaria in the first inning. As we mentioned, Gladden last year, 25 stolen bases. You better keep him close. That pitch misses, and the count 1-0. I mean, I'm still waiting just a little bit to see Tom Kelly. Yesterday, he really didn't have a chance to do anything because of the fact that the Yankees were up in a hurry. Bowden pitching an outstanding ball game, just didn't allow any twin base runners. There's a base hit into right field. Gladden around second base on his way to third. He'll get there as Winfield gets it back into Randolph, so the Twins come running right back at the Yankees. Runners at the corners, just one out.
Center fielder, Kirby Puckett.
Minnesota now beginning to take that high fastball up out over the plate and delivering it towards the opposite field. You know, and, as the game goes along, Candelaria is really known now in his time to be only a 5- and 6-inning pitcher. First couple of innings, he's a little bit stronger, so he'll get by with that fastball up in the strike zone.
Here's Kirby Puckett. Struck out on a bad high fastball from Candy in the first inning. Takes that one outside and the count 1-0. Good speed at third, decent speed at first. Outfield swung just a little bit around to the right. That breaking ball up out over the plate. Puckett really upset with himself that he did not hammer that one.
Well, this is what I call a free swing for a hitter. Men on first and third, a left-handed pitcher. Puckett, a right-handed hitter. All he has to do is drive the ball. This time you can really take a chance to hit the ball out of the ballpark, because if you don't make it, at least you drive the runner in from third. That's the way I used to like to hit. Men on third base with less than 2 outs.
Men on first and third was the greatest spot, though. That's a great spot.
Depended on who pitched that game.
That pitch just misses. Candy wanted it, and the count moves to 2-1. So Puckett in a good spot right here. Takes a long look down at Rick Rennick at third base, the coach. Rennick said, get back in there and swing the bat and knock him in. Fastball up high once again. Puckett couldn't get it, and the count evens at 2.
Well, normally you would pitch a guy to try to get him to hit the ball on the ground so you at least have a chance to make the double play. Candelaria is staying right upstairs on Kirby Puckett.
Well, maybe just go up the ladder just a little bit more like he got in the first time. He did, and Puckett just getting a piece of it. You get a good catcher behind the plate in Joel Skinner. Good defensive receiver. And this is where that pitcher can't be afraid to throw. After you get the guy looking upstairs after the first 2 at-bats, maybe come back with that hook down and in. Because Skinner, chances are, he will knock it down. But he gets him right there. Once again, Puckett strikes out. 4th strikeout for Candelaria, and a big one.
Well, second time that he struck Kirby Puckett out. This time, he just blew the fastball by him again. 2 times in a row, he's blown the fastball by Puckett.
Looks like Kirby's starting his swing, and his head's going right with it. So that'll ease temporarily the situation. But still, you got some trouble right here in Gary Gaetti. As a balk is called, second base umpire John Hirschbeck calls it. Gladden will score. Gagne moves into second base, and the game is tied at 1.
Well, we'll see what happens here if he comes to a complete stop. He's got both hands on the ball. Well, that's it. Here we go back now.
Interpretation.
It's interpretation and viewed by the only umpire that calls the balk. There's going to be a lot of different opinions.
That rule, if in fact is adhered to, in case you did not watch yesterday's ball game, in my opinion, is a farce. It's going to turn out to be a farce. There's no question about it.
Well, it's just how you interpret
That's why it's going to be a farce.
A complete and discernible stop.
That's why it's going to be a farce.
You got
'cause
4
all those-
umpires out there now, and I know they all have different. Billy's not happy about it at all.
That fastball misses, and the count 1-1. Well, there's just so many elements that come into play. It's too early to start going into some of those, but as the season goes on, according to what they do and how they deem it and judge it, then you could get into it. You know, umpires are human beings just like everybody else. They got their strong points, they got their weaknesses, they got their likes, they have their dislikes, they have players that they like, they have players they dislike. They have pitchers that they've had trouble with, they have pitchers that they have not had trouble with. All those things are going to come into play when you put that kind of responsibility on their shoulders. Gaetti chases a fastball up, can't get it, and the count evens at 2.
Well, I mean, just like me, I'm sitting here in the booth. I saw it on the replay. It looked like that he came to a complete stop. And I mean, that's my opinion, but the umpire felt like that he didn't come to a complete stop.
Got him high fastball, and that'll do it for the Twins. But they came up with a run on 2 base hits. No errors, a man left, and a very questionable ball call. And after 2.5, it's tied at 1.
Julius, sir.
Right now, let's check the Whiz scoreboard. In action around the American League, you see in the top of the 3rd inning, Tigers at Fenway Park, no score. Later on, Seattle at Oakland. In the National League, San Diego at Houston. Back to the American League. In tonight's action, Milwaukee at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. The Angels take on the White Sox at Comiskey Park. Blue Jays at Kansas City. In the National League, the Cubs at Atlanta, New York at Montreal, and Pittsburgh at Philadelphia. And the last on our Whiz scoreboard, St. Louis at Cincinnati. But right here, it's the bottom of the 3rd inning. Run on 3 hits, no errors for the Twins. Run on 1 hit, no errors for the Yankees. Here's how the Twins picked up their run as they called it a balk. John Hirschbeck at second base. He says evidently that Candelaria did not come to that complete and discernible stop in his opinion. So the game is tied at 1. For the Yankees, it'll be Skinner, Santana, and then the top of the order, Henderson. Joel takes a curveball low and away, and the count 1-0. Skins yesterday 0 for 3 in that ball game. It had an RBI with a bases-loaded walk. Takes a fastball strike, and the count evens at 1. I'll tell you, Bobby, I just don't see that having any positive effect on anything that they're trying to accomplish.
I'll tell you what,
low, 2-1.
It didn't have a positive effect as far as I was concerned in spring training. It really was, like you were talking about. It was a farce in spring training, but of course it was new, and they wanted to make their point in spring training. But they would subside a little bit when the season started.
There's a shot right to the first baseman, Gene Larkin, and there's 1 out.
I think we'll just have to wait and see if some crews are going to call the balk a little bit more than other crews. I want to see how Ken Kaiser reacts to it. Kenny probably will not call the balk. Now, he was noted the last 2 or 3 or 4 years. Take a look at Billy Martin. He was noted for the guy calling the balks all the time. Now that everybody else is calling balks, he's back away from it.
I would doubt very seriously if Ken would be a big advocate of that rule. First of all, you're asking a lot of veterans as Rafael Santana steps in. You're asking a lot of veterans, fastball high, who have been pitching in this league 10, 12 years to go out there and do something entirely different that they have been used to for the last 10, 12 years. There's a base hit. Santana comes up with his first safety and a Yankee uniform on his way to second base. Gladden with a strong throw, not in time. So Santana A one-out double.
Good hustling play by Dan Gladden down the left field line. He's got a pretty good arm. He makes a perfect throw, but Santana just underneath the tag of Newman at second base. Good hustling play by Santana, too.
Well, Newman right there made a bit of a mistake as well. On that kind of play with a bang-bang situation, you get to know that playing second base. If you go out to get the ball like Newman did, and it's going to be a bang-bang play, you're going to lose. If he waits for the ball to come to him, puts it straight down, they get a good shot at it.
I see a lot of catchers doing that at home plate. They'll go out and try to get the ball and then try to jump back or dive back to tag the runner.
Here's the left fielder, Ricky Henderson. Ricky bounced to Gaetti. His first trip. Breaking ball strike. Good curveball by Straker. Fastball high and inside, and the count evens at 1. You know, I certainly agree with the other two rules, or not the other two, the other rule that they're trying to implement with the strike zone, trying to get it just a shade bigger. Let up pitch misses low, and the count 2-1. But the other two rules that they have put in, the balk rule and also the rule giving the umpire complete discretion on whether or not to throw somebody out without a warning, that's just putting too much responsibility on their shoulders. As we talked about yesterday, they have enough problems right now as it stands, just calling balls and strikes and calling the bases. That's low. Henderson getting a good look at it, moves the count in his favor. 3 balls and a strike.
Actually, they have lowered the strike zone this year. The normal strike zone was the armpits to the top of the knees. Now it's the interpretation of the top of the shoulders to the top of the pants. Somewhere midway in between that. That's supposed to be the upper strike zone. They are hoping that they'll get the umpires to call the higher strike a little bit more by doing that.
Fastball. Ricky thought it was high.
How about that one? Was that midway? I don't think Henderson thought it was midway. Is this midway? Check his stance. Now that's the old strike zone. That's the armpits.
Oh, man, I think it's going to be an interesting year in that respect. Payoff pitch to Henderson. Deep left side. Gaetti will look Santana back. Over to Larkin. 2 out.
Well, they really only had, what, about 30 games in spring training to work on here, the umpires. Maybe they should have put like a 2-year plan in spring training only and then implement the plan the 3rd year during the regular season. Just see what kind of effect it's going to have and see how the umpires are going to react to it.
Here's the second baseman, Willie Randolph. Well, Bobby, you know, umpires are no different than players or lawyers or doctors or anything else. You've got good ones, you've got mediocre ones, and you've got bad ones. The good umpires are not going to change. That fastball taken inside. Now, what you'll find out is the ones who will make the most changes and try to adhere to the new implementation of the rules are the guys who are trying to hang on for a job, so they'll do anything they want them to do. And that's where you're going to have your problems.
Well, the umpires have a pretty good hold in the major leagues. Not too many of those guys are sent down to the minor leagues if they're doing a bad job or considering doing a bad job.
There's a let-up pitch. Good off-speed pitch by Straker with a good motion. And the count of ball and strike.
All in all, though, the umpires, they have a pretty tough job. They got to make split second decisions.
That ball gets away. Foul tipped. As Brimmigan came up with a sign a little late, and the count 1-2. Well, it's certainly a thankless job. You can't win either side. Everybody knows how difficult that position is. That's one reason. That's one reason they don't need any more responsibilities put on them. Santana at second. 2 gone, bottom of the third, tied at 1. Breaking ball misses. 2-2. And right here, Straker has got the man at the plate he wants to get. Number 23 on deck.
He might not give in to Willie with a 2-2 pitch here, but 3-2. Willie can look for a pretty good pitch, I would think, with Mattingly behind him, if it goes to 3-2.
Fastball, chop left side, Gaetti. Second hop, has trouble getting out of his glove, but in time to Larkin, and that'll retire the side. So a mild fit by the Yankees. Nothing across, a hit, no errors, a man left. After 3, 1-1. Top of the 4th inning, along with Bobby Mercer. This is Ken Harrelson, Yankee Stadium. 1-1 tie. Gene Larkin, the hitter. And to tell you about it, here's Bobby.
First pitch is popped down the right field line. It's going to slice foul. 1-0. 0-1, that is, on Larkin. 1-1 score here at Yankee Stadium.
As you see right there, the corporate host. The Yankees are happy to welcome the Boy Scouts of America to Yankee Stadium today. And we'll tell you more about it after the pitch outside. 5,000 youngsters representing the Boy Scouts and various area youth organizations are attending today's game as guests of the Boy Scouts of America. Each youngster received a corporate host certificate, and the Yankees say thank you to the Boy Scouts of America for their participation in the corporate host program.
All right, Hawk, thank you. 1-2 now on Gene Larkin. Larkin, the switch hitter, batting from the right side against the left-handed pitcher, John Candelaria. Ground ball right to Santana. Bobbles it momentarily, but flips over to Mattingly, and there's 1 down. That'll bring up Tom Brunansky. Top of the 4th inning. High score between the Yankees and the Minnesota Twins. 1-1. Twins have 3 hits in the ball game so far. The only run came on a balk by Candelaria in the 3rd inning. Ground ball, base hit up the middle. Brunansky does not run well. Fonell Washington has it, and he will hold at first base. That's the 4th hit by the Minnesota Twins in this ball game. That'll bring up the catcher, Tim Laudner. 0 for 1, grounded out. Nieto started the ball game yesterday for the Minnesota Twins. Twins have Laudner, the catcher, Nieto, and Lowry. There goes Brunansky to hit and run, and I've got him hung up now.
Good play by Randolph.
Willie chases him and puts the tag on him. Brunansky does not have good speed. The pitch was way down in the dirt, and the hitter's only request is just put the bat on the ball.
Well, a lot of times they can't do it, but right here, watch the play by Randolph, the anticipation. He knows he's got him in no-man land. He sees real quickly right there. Brunansky fake back to first, and then it's just academic. There's a lot of experience right there. Amazingly enough, that's one of the plays. The pickle play, the rundown play, are screwed up more in Major League Baseball today than you ever see because of youngsters.
Now this pitch is lined down the left field line. Extra bases. Henderson delivers it back in, and Laudner will be on at second base with 2 down. Well, do you second-guess yourself as a manager? I wonder if Tom Kelly is saying, well, if I had to put that on now, we would have had men at first and third, or maybe we would be ahead 2-1.
And if you second-guess yourself, that means you haven't been managing very long.
There's Tom Kelly. Only he will know about it. That brings up Mark Davidson, the right fielder. Laudner down at second base. And the first pitch is in there for a call strike. It looked like Davidson was going to back out of the batter's box for a moment. Davidson 0 for 1 in this ball game. Flied out to left field. Up high and away. 1-1 now to Davidson. 2 down here at the top of the 4th inning. Tie score, Twins 1, Yankees 1. Good pitch by Candelaria, catching the outside corner with that fastball. 1-2 now on Davidson. Tom Kelly giving a lot of youngsters a chance to play, changing that lineup a bit today. Twins were beaten by the Yankees 8-0 yesterday.
Bobby, that's all he has on this ball club. There's not one rookie on their opening day roster. And as we mentioned in yesterday's game, that's the first time in the Twins' 27-year history that's ever happened. All these guys, for the most part, in their mid-20s. The oldest fella in the lineup today is Dan Gladden, and he's 30.
Swung on and missed, strike 3. Good pitch by John Candelaria. That's his 6th strikeout of this ball game. The Twins leave one at second base at the end of 3.5 innings. We still have a tie score. Yankees 1, Twins 1.
Fans, a reminder, pride and power of the 1988 Yankees. They're ready for an action-packed season and a race for the pennant. But are you ready? Do you have your Yankee tickets? Yankee Stadium Ticket Office is open 7 days a week from 9 to 5. In addition, the group sales department is ready to assist your group of 25 or more. That's to plan a Yankee Stadium outing. Or maybe you're interested in the full season or combination ticket plan. Why not call 212-293-6000 for more information? Tickets for all Yankee home games may also be purchased through Ticketmaster. Their number is 212-307-7171. And in New Jersey, call 201-507-8900. So don't be shut out. Get your tickets early and enjoy Yankee Baseball 88.
We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Don Mattingly will lead it off for the New York Yankees. He'll be followed by Mike Pagliarulo and then Claudel Washington. 3 left-handed batters due up here for the Yankees in the bottom of the 4th. Tie score between the Yankees and the Twins, 1 apiece. Mattingly struck out his only time back in the 1st inning. Mattingly a little bit anxious at first at bat. Fastball catching the outside corner of Mattingly. The outfield shades Mattingly a bit to pull towards right field. Now Straker tries to go inside but misses. 1-1 now to Mattingly. Slider misses down and in. 2 balls and a strike on Mattingly. Straker spent 10 years in the minor leagues. Started out with Cincinnati. Hit out into left field, but Gladden will move back a couple of steps and almost misplayed the ball. Gladden thought it was going to be a can of corn, and then all of a sudden the ball took off on him, and Gladden hurriedly recovered. Here it is. You can see Gladden. He had to leap for it. When the ball was hit out there, Gladden just thought it was going to be a routine play. He's looking around like he can't believe what happened. That'll bring up Mike Pagliarulo, continuing his hot hitting. He's 1 for 1. Double back in the 2nd inning. Swings at the first pitch. It's off to the right side. Newman out on the grass portion. Makes a nice play. Flipped over to Larkin, and there's 2 down.
Center fielder, Claudel Washington.
Newman had to go a long way to his left. Way out on the outfield grass. Of course, Pagliarulo does not have that good speed, so Newman had time to catch him at first base. I think Pag's a little mad at himself for not swinging at a better pitch. Claudel Washington steps in with 2 down. Fastball up high. Claudel did the job. He grounded out to the second baseman, but with a runner on at second base, moves the second base runner up to third, so he did the job even though he's 0 for 1. 2 balls and a strike now to Washington. That came back in the 2nd inning when he moved Mike Pagliarulo, who had doubled in front of him, over to third base. 2-0 pitch, 1 hopper, easy play for Larkin at first base. Steps on the bag, and that the end of 4 innings of play, 1-1. Top of the 5th inning, tie score between the Yankees and the Minnesota Twins. Al Newman leads it off, swings at the first pitch. Little slow tapper, Mike Pagliarulo up with it, over to Mattingly. I think that ball hit a piece of grass down there and threw Pagliarulo off. He didn't react. It should have been an easier play for him.
You can see where he was playing at first, well in. Now he has to change directions. Indeed, it did hit a little tuft of grass, threw him off. He was battling it all the way. Newman, good speed. Nice play for Pags.
Well, he had a smile afterwards anyway.
Ball almost ate him up.
Yeah, he had Newman played perfectly and then it almost turned it into a tough play. Dan Gladden has had a good day. He's 2 for 2. He wants a little bit more time. Candelaria. Candyman working here in the 5th inning. This is normally the time that Candelaria starts having a little bit of a problem. Good curveball that's in there for a call strike. Begins to run out of gas between the 5th and 6th inning. No action in the Yankee bullpen now. Another breaking ball on the outside corner. Now he's out in front. 0-2 on Gladden.
Now, when you backdoor those right-handed hitters like he just did there with a breaking pitch, you can go out there and you can go 8 or 9. You can get that one over.
That fastball's way outside.
That's the toughest pitch in baseball to hit.
Backdoor?
The backdoor. From the left-handed pitcher to the right-handed hitter, or vice versa, the right-handed pitcher to the left-handed hitter. Not too many guys have ever mastered that one.
Well, you give up on it.
That's why it's the toughest one to hit.
Down the left field line, this will be extra bases for Gladden. Over is Ricky, and he picks it up, delivers it back into the infield. Bad pitch, I guess you could say, by Candelaria, because Gladden, 0-2 pitch, lines it down to the left field line.
Well, watch the pitch. It's just a roller. You see where Skinner's setting up. Ball did not have any snap to it at all. Just a rolling breaking pitch. Gladden just put it in play, and that was it. The double.
Well, you think we're seeing a different style now? Is Candy going to go back to a different style? He was basically using his fastball through the first 4 innings. Now he's thrown a lot of breaking balls to start off the 5th inning. Greg Gagne steps in. There's another breaking ball. So now he's throwing about 90% breaking balls, whereas in the first 4 innings he was going to his fastball.
Well, I certainly don't think it's because he's tired at all. It's a great day to pitch. Cool weather. Coming out of spring training, your first start. If you're tired now, you weren't in shape coming north.
Another breaking ball. This time they misses low and inside.
As we mentioned, though, Merce, Twins, real good fastball hitting club. But if you make the mistake with a breaking ball, like he did with a roller right there to Gladden, a lot of guys are going to hit you hard.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is towards the 5th or 6th inning, if you do, you've got to get a little bit tired as the game goes along. Your fastball gets a little bit shorter, too. Fouled out of play off the right side. Well, he's working in front of these hitters. He's 1-2 now on Gagne. 1 down here at the top of the 5th inning. Gladden on at second base. Candy, there you see Gladden at second. Candy signed a 1-year contract for the Yankees, a free agent. Also, the club has a option on him for 1989. Outside and high, 2-2.
I still think he has the ability to get you into the 7th and 8th. A lot of guys like you know, a lot of guys say he's primarily a 5 or 6 inning pitcher. But that's just not Pat. There's a good breaking ball. As Gagne, for the 2nd time this afternoon, goes down and strikes. That's number 7 for Candelaria. But a lot of things depend on that. There you see the good, snapping breaking ball going down and in. First of all, it's going to depend on how many pitches you throw, how many innings you have worked, and if you have an easy time of it.
Oh, we see Kirby Puckett stepping in. Now, Puckett has struck out twice today already with fastballs. We'll see how he pitches Puckett now. Fastball, but this one misses. Puckett has been behind on Candelaria's fastball first 2 times up.
Well,
in fact, he's just thrown it by him.
Some hitters have trouble picking up the ball off certain pitchers. And I know one thing. I'd hate like the devil to see him throw him a bad breaking ball right here and let him get a base hit. Uh-oh.
Oh, that one got away from him, and also got away from Skinner. Gladden moved down to third base. He'll have to stop there. You know, I don't know. That it looked like the Candelaria had made a split decision. He was going to change his pitch and just got away from him. I don't know.
No, I think that one just slipped.
Wild pitch by Candelaria. 2-0 now on Pocket. Gaetti on deck for the Twins. 1-1 tie. Top of the 5th inning here at Yankee Stadium. Good fastball, but it just misses outside of it. 3 balls and no strikes now to Puckett. First base is open, but a tough hitter.
Second base is open.
Second base. That's what you got. Gaetti. You may. I don't know if you want
I
to
don't
go.
think
I don't think you want to go that far.
No, I don't think he's going to go around Puckett and Gaetti to get to Larkin once again.
High fastball swung on. He had the green light. Kirby Puckett, a little bit anxious at the plate. That pitch was way out of the strike zone. He was going downtown, though. Gladden on at third. Swung on and fouled back off the right side and out of play. Now Candelaria has worked the count to 3-2 on Puckett.
Well, up until this point, I don't think there's any question that Kirby's just had a problem picking the ball up off Campbell. A lot of guys have. He's got those size 14 boats out there that he wears for shoes. 6'6". A lot of fanny and elbows coming at you.
Hit out in the center field and pretty good. Going over towards right center is Cardell Washington right in front of the warning track. And he hauls it down, and the threat goes by the Minnesota Twins. They strand one, Gladden at third base. At the end of 4.5 innings of play, we still have a tie score.
Fans, a reminder, New York Stanley Cup hockey is played right here on Sports Channel tonight and tomorrow at 8 when the Islanders battle the Devils in round 1 action. It's live exclusive coverage of the Isles Devils playoff series tonight at 8. Pre-game show starting at 7:30 right here on Sports Channel.
Right fielder, Dave Winfield.
Well, we go to the top of the bottom of the 5th inning. High scorer Dave Winfield leads it off for the Yankees. He'll be followed by Jose Cruz and Joel Skinner. Straker has only allowed the Yankees 2 base hits. And the Yankees scored with that sacrifice fly by Dave Winfield. Back in the 2nd inning, scoring Mike Pagliarulo from third base. We mentioned Straker. Spent 10 years in the minor leagues before getting a shot with Minnesota back in 1987. And he starts Winfield off with a high fastball. Straker 8-10. 4.37 earned run average. See the line score for the game so far.
And he's only 26 years old.
That ball is down low and outside. 2 balls and no strikes now to Dave Winfield. All 4 pitches, Straker. Fastball, curveball, changeup, and slider. Has trouble getting his curveball over. Had trouble getting that fastball over. It's 3-0 now to Winfield. We'll see if Winfield has a green light here at 3-0.
I don't know, Bobby. Leading off an inning, 1-1 tie? No.
That's in there. He was taking all away. Did you like hitting 3-0, Hawk?
I loved it.
I hated it.
I loved it.
I did not like it at all.
Yeah, you said earlier that you just felt like that 3-1 was just as good as 3-0.
Yeah. I just felt like...
You were a better hitter than I was. I needed every pitch I could get.
We know that.
I needed every pitch I could get.
3-1 on Winfield. Ground ball to the shortstop. Gagne up with it over to Larkin. And there's one down.
I'll tell you, I had good success hitting 3-0. Quite a few bangers. But again, so a lot of guys can't hit
But you were
3-0.
a dead fastball hitter.
That's right.
And 99% of the time, you're going to get the fastball 3-0. Winfield got the same pitch, but you're going to get basically the same pitch 3-1 as you do 3-0, the fastball. Jose Cruz steps in. Cruz is 0 for 1. Little chopper back to the mound his only time. That pitch is outside, ball 1. Designated hitter today. Fabulous spring for the Yankees. The Yankees signed him as a free agent. Breaking ball is down in the dirt, 2-0. And I think the only reason the Yankees were able to pick Jose Cruz up, or the reason they picked him up, was because a lot of other teams did not want to give up the draft pick for signing a Class A free agent like Jose Cruz. But the Yankees had already picked up a couple other free agents, and so really became the third draft pick. Short fly ball into center field. Coming on is Puckett, and cannot get it. Falls in front of him. Puckett, I think, stopped on that ball. One point, it looked like Puckett was going to get it. Now Puckett looks around. I think he knows he made a mistake. He stopped a little bit too short.
Well, one of the things about Kirby Puckett, as we talked about yesterday, today, last year, the year before, he plays so deep in center field. He has good speed. He plays so deep out there. He had such a long way to come. All of a sudden, when you've got that far to come, now you've got the second baseman and the shortstop converging, you're going to see a lot of mix-ups in that Minnesota defense scheme of things on those short fly balls to center field.
Joel Skinner steps in, 0 for 1, but he lined out sharply to the first baseman, his only trip.
So you can bet one thing. Gagne nor Lombardozzi nor Newman want to collide with Puckett.
And therefore a called strike. Well, you know, Puckett plays on that artificial surface, and normally you can't challenge a little blooper ball like that on that artificial surface. You got to let it bounce in front of you. Quite a transition playing on natural grass and doing that artificial stuff. Way up and inside, 1-1.
Well, Kirby plays as deep as anybody in this league in center field. That's one reason that Kirby is able to make a lot of those catches over the fence. One, fortunately for the Yankees and Pagliarulo yesterday, he did not hang on to. But you're not going to make a whole bunch of those catches and bring the ball back into the ballpark unless you're playing fairly deep.
Breaking ball down in the dirt.
That's one thing I love about Roberto Kelly being a rookie. It just shows you supreme confidence out there. They have to move him back because he wants to play short. Anytime you get a center fielder that wants to play short, he just tells you he's got tremendous confidence.
Well, when I played center field, they always told me if I can play shallow, I'm going to catch the majority of the balls because the majority of the hits are hit in front of the outfielders, not over their heads. If it's hit over their heads, most of the time it's out of the ballpark. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Strike 2. 2-2 now on Skinner. Take a look at the score. Boston behind Detroit in the fourth inning, 4-1.
Yeah, the Tigers put a 4 spot in the top of the third in that game. Doyle Alexander on the hill for the Tigers and the southpaw Bruce Hurst for the Red Sox.
What's Alexander doing getting off to a fast start? 3-2 now on Skinner, so we'll check Jose Cruz at first base with one down. See if he'll be off of this pitch. Straker also checking over at first.
Well, you got no speed at first, no speed at home. You'd love to stay out of a double play.
There goes the runner, and it's swung on and fouled back.
Skins had a good one to hit right there.
Took a little bit. Oh, we got a balk call now. A late balk call by the first base umpire, Rick Reed. So Cruz will indeed move down to second base. The count will remain 3-2. And there we go with that complete and discernible stop. And Straker, I guess, did not make it. That's the third balk called in the ballgame. 2 balks have already been called by Candelaria.
Now here it is again. It's just interpretation. That's a stop. Hey, hung him one right there, and Skins underneath it. But certainly Billy Martin wanting Ricky Henderson to lead off the next inning rather than Rafael Santana's reason he sent him. Breaking ball on a 3-2 pitch. He misses outside, ball 4. Yankees have runners at first and second. Santana coming up. Well, in the scheme of things, that's just not a good pitch by Straker. 3-2 breaking ball to Skins. Because of the fact Skins having a tough go of it last year, having a tough go of it this year. In this lineup, he's one of the guys you consider an out man. You want to get him. Well, first base is open, so he decided to try to make the perfect pitch on Skinner. Double play is still in order with one down. Santana double down the left field line, his only trip. Breaking ball misses outside. Yeah, but you'd rather have Skinner and Santana or Santana try to beat you than rather have Ricky Henderson try to beat you. I don't know if you can look that far ahead with the 3 guys. With a 3-2 breaking ball? Oh, man. Tell you what.
Still has a chance to get out of the inning, though, with Santana.
Well, with a double play, sure. And he also has got a chance to give up a big inning, too.
That's the chance
You don't want to put your outman on the base pass.
That's the chances. Absolutely, I agree with you. You're talking about the 8th and 9th hitter. But a good pitcher and a guy that's going to win you 15 or 20 games, he's got to make those 3-2 pitches sometimes. But I understand what you're saying. When with first base open, he decided not to challenge Skinner, and he's got himself in trouble. Now he's falling behind Santana 2-0. He's got to come right in there now. Pitching coach Dick Such is out there. No action in the Twin bullpen. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. We have a tie score, 1 apiece. Well, Laudner telling Straker to step back off the mound. He wants him to throw a certain pitch. Two old pitches lost it into center field. Over his pocket. Cruz is tagging up, but he'll stand right there. Merely a fake. And there's 2 down. 2-0 pitch, and Santana was just behind that fastball a bit.
Yeah, he's a little upset with himself, and he should be. And that situation right there, when you get a chance to do a little damage, and you're on top of the count 2-0, he's not going to go 3-0 with a breaking ball. He's going to come at him with a heater, and he just wasn't ready for it.
Well, you saw Henderson. He's 0 for 2 in the ball game. Bounced out twice to Guy Eddie at third base. Yankees threatening here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 1-1 tie. Les Straker has started and gone all the way for the Minnesota Twins. That breaking ball misses low and outside. Ball 1, 1-0. Ricky caught Frank Viola yesterday with a 2-run home run. Good shot into left field. A lot of action in yesterday's opener. Yankees beat the Twins 8-0. Catcher going through a set of signs with a runner down at second base. Breaking ball, nice stop by the catcher Laudner. That's the breaking ball we were talking about. He normally throws that into the dirt. You see Cruz at second base now. Once in a while, they will, the runner at second base and the hitter, they'll give signs to each other. I know when I played, I used to give location to the hitter, and location meant basically what pitch the pitcher was going to throw.
Very few of these guys today want it.
I agree. I don't know why.
I don't either.
That's just a little advantage you can really take. Ground ball to third baseman once again, Gaetti. He'll go the short way to Newman, and that'll do it all for the Yankees here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Yankees strand 2, and at the end of 5, we still have a tie score, 1 apiece. Well, back at Yankee Stadium where we have a tie score in this ball game. We're moving to the top of the 6th inning. This is Bobby Mercer along with the Hawk Kid Harrelson. John Candelaria has started and gone all the way for the New York Yankees. Due up for the Twins here in the top half of the 6th. Gary Gaetti, Gene Larkin, and Tom Bernansky. 3 balk calls called in this ball game. One of them a serious balk made by John Candelaria. Balking the run home. That's the only run the Twins have scored. That came back in the top half of the 3rd inning. Candelaria working into the 6th inning. Mixing his pitches up throughout the ball game. Basically started with a fastball and stayed with it, but the last couple of innings he's gone to his breaking ball.
Well, he might just be showing him a little different angle the 2nd time around and the 3rd time around. This is the 3rd trip for the Twins up against Candyman. But his longest stint, as we mentioned up front, Bobby, his longest stint this spring was 6 innings. Now, he still looks like he has good stuff. The only thing is just location. That's that simple.
Gaetti struck out his last trip. He's also drawn a walk. That's the only walk given up by Candelaria in this ball game. Swings at the first pitch, lofts it off to the right side. It will be out of play. Got to be careful with Gaetti. A lot of power. Base hit in the left center field. Santana still playing everybody in the hole in shortstop. Claudel Washington's throw is backed up by Mattingly, but Gaetti will stay at first base.
Here's just a fastball up out over the plate. He drills it. As Bobby mentioned, we talked about Santana earlier. He does not have that much range to his right, so to compensate for that, he cheats a couple of steps over that way, and you'll see he goes very well to his left, but when the ball's hit that hard, it doesn't make any difference how much range you got. It's a base hit.
Skinner out to talk. We take a look at Santana's shortstop. Gene Larkin, the switch hitter. Larkin 0 for 2, struck out and grounded out. And he swings at the first pitch, pops it up off to the right side. Don Mattingly, will he have room? Yes. And there's one down. Well, the Twins wasting no time. I mean, that's their forte. I mean, they come out of that dugout swinging that lumber.
There is an atmosphere about that ball club that's not unsimilar to the one that the '82 Brewers had. Harvey's Wallbangers.
Oh.
And if that is the attitude of the club, if that is the offensive mode, then you don't want to take them out of it that much. That is certainly not to say that you're not going to hit and run occasionally, or you're not going to try to maybe make a bunt in a situation. But in that case, I think the bunt was out of the order. As you look at the right-hander Cecilio Guante loosening up for the Yankees down in the pen.
This is Bernansky, 1-0 on Bernansky. Just missing low and outside, 2 balls and a strike. Well, the Yankees with Guante up in the bullpen. Candelaria, as we mentioned, has started and gone all the way. We're in the top half of the 6th inning, tie score. 2 balls and no strikes to Bernansky. Not a whole lot of speed. Gaetti at first base. Hit out in right center field. This could be trouble for Washington. And it's off the wall in right center. They're going to wave Gaetti around third. The throw, and the Twins take a 2-1 lead.
We mentioned the location. The base hit by Gaetti earlier. Now watch the base hit right here. Fastball right there. Bernansky going right with it. Just drilled it out there into the gap in right center field. And indeed, the location starting to elude Candelaria a shade, and you cannot do that with the Minnesota Twins, especially with a fastball. They will get you.
There you see Bernansky leading at second base. This is the catcher, Tim Laudner. And he swings at the first pitch, hits it off to the right side. Willie is there. He'll have to wait for Mattingly to get back to the bag. He flips over, and Mattingly grabs it. There's 2 down as Bernansky moves to third base. Well, Candy has given up a couple of hits and has relinquished the lead to the Twins, 2-1. This is when he normally starts having his problems around the 5th or 6th inning. This will bring up Mark Davidson. He's 0 for 2, flied out and struck out. Good pitch by Candelaria, right on the outside corner. Now that's where Candy needs to stay with that fastball. Right at the knee top.
Well, I'm sure on those base hits to Gaetti and Bernansky, he was trying to get it there. But as you mentioned, Candy has had the reputation. 5 or 6 innings, there's a high heater that Davidson can not get up on top of. Again, I think it's a state of mind. I think it's a psychological barrier there because of the fact he still has good stuff. He's still got good velocity, but for some reason, he just starts losing the corners. He gets more into the strike zone, usually in the 5th or the 6th inning.
Well, you get tired and you leave your arm up in the air. Pop up into shallow center field. Going back is Randolph. Coming on is Washington. He'll call Randolph off of it. And he makes the catch, but not before the Twins bunch a couple of hits together. And they take their lead here in the top half of the 6th inning, 2-1 on the Yankees.
If the time has come to lease...
A reminder that Friday at 7:30, the Yankees battle Paul Molitor and the Milwaukee Brewers. That's the Yanks versus the Brewers, Friday at 7:30, live right here on Sports Channel. Your stop for a Subway Series summer.
Bottom half of the fifth inning, the Twins lead the Yankees now 2-1. Willie Randolph leads it off here in the bottom of the sixth. He'll be followed by Mattingly and Mike Piarulo. Les Strecker has started and gone all the way for the Twins. Swung on and lined into center field. This could be extra bases for Willie. Willie will go to second. Kirby has it, and Randolph will have to stop right there. So the Yankees come right back here in the bottom of the sixth inning. Randolph leading off with a double.
Willie going a little hunting right here. First ball, fastball, gets it from Straker. There it is, right down the middle. He just drills it out there into the gap. Randolph 3 for 4 yesterday with a double. 1 for 3 this afternoon with a double. But more importantly, the tying run at second, nobody out.
Well, Straker has some work to do now. He's going to have to face Mattingly and then Piarulo, two strong left-handed batters. Randolph on at second base. Nobody out here in the bottom of the sixth. And Mattingly acted like he was going to bunt the ball. Of course, Gary Gaetti at third base was playing way back. And now Gaetti has moved even with the bag.
I'll tell you, I love that move by Mattingly.
I don't want him bunting the ball here, though.
No, I'm just saying I love the move.
Oh.
All of a sudden now he brings Gaetti in, gives himself a little more room over there in case he wants to go that way, maybe get a base hit. But the fact is, it also shows everybody, maybe he's not swinging the bat that well, he still wants to get the job done.
That's in there for a call strike. 1-1 now to Mattingly. Mattingly, normally an extremely selective hitter. Been a little bit over-anxious the first couple of games.
He'll tell you how he's feeling. Usually when he's a little anxious, as you mentioned, Murph, that'll tell you his confidence is not right there, that he has his good timing down at all. So he'll start jumping that a little bit. Normally he's a 2-0-3-1 hitter. And last part of spring training, yesterday and today, he's been in the hole almost every time. Right here he's 1-2. Yesterday a couple of times he was 0-2.
Well, if you take a look at him, he hits in a crouch. He starts out in a crouch. Now he's coming up out of that crouch. So what it does, it just throws his right shoulder out of whack, brings his hands forward, and he really can't get a good swing at it.
Plus his eyes start moving on him.
Well, his head's got to fly out. Breaking ball misses up high. 2-2 now automatically. Nobody down here in the bottom of the sixth inning. Twins out in front, 2-1. There you see Randolph on at second base. Gagne flashing some signs to the catcher Lander. They may have a pickoff play on. Hits the ball to the right side, but Newman is there. Over to Larkin. Mattingly does his job. Randolph moves to third. Mike Piarulo coming up.
Mike Piarulo.
The last thing that Donnie wanted to do right there, as you see him just have a little sigh of relief. Last thing he wanted to do was leave Randolph on second base with Pags coming up. Pags swinging the bat well, has been swinging the bat well all spring long. Here he gets the fastball down out over the plate. You can see right there, that was just a contrived thought. He didn't want to do anything with it, just get it on the right side.
He actually had to hook that fastball. It was outside. Mike Piarulo steps in. Infield is being brought in. A check swing, and the home plate umpire said, Dick Brimmigan says that Piarulo went around. So the count will be 0-1. Pags in this game doubled down the right field line, pass Larkin at first base. Came around to score on a sacrifice fly by Winfield, and then bounced out to second base. Bodell Washington on deck for the Yankees. Breaking ball again and hit off the end of the bat. Dal Straker way out in front of Piarulo, 0-2.
That game at Fenway Park still in the fifth inning with the Tigers still leading the Red Sox 4-1.
Well, the Yankees have a chance to tie it up here. Randolph at third base with one down. The count is 0-2 to Piarulo. Way up high. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Mike Piarulo. Complete concentration by Mike Piarulo.
That's going to be the key to his progress. How much he will progress in the coming years is how well he can control his emotions, especially in situations like this. And that's concentration.
Hit out into center field. This should be far enough to score. Randolph from third. Gladden has it. And the throw will not be in time. We have a tie score. Piarulo battles Straker. Hits the ball into left field. And Gladden brings it down, but not before Randolph scores to tie the game.
There's a good at-bat for Pags, you see. Down 0-2 in the count on 2 pretty good breaking balls from Straker. Change speeds on both of them. All of a sudden now the concentration factor that we were talking about, he had it this spring, and we'll just hope he can maintain it throughout the course of the year.
And you have to go back now to Mattingly. The job that he did, just hooking that outside pitch, making sure he pulls the ball the right side. Claudell Washington steps in, fouls the first pitch out of play.
Well, the way Donnie's been swinging the bat, as we mentioned, that's the last thing you wanted to do was go back to that dugout with Randolph still on second base.
But that's baseball. That's the way it should be played. And that's the way winning teams win ball games. Just misses inside, 1-1. Well, Billy feels a little bit better now with the score tied 2-2. Line drive, base hit to the middle. So Claudell gets his first base hit of the ball game. That's number 5 for the Yankees.
Looked like a straight change from Straker. And Washington waited on it and just hammered it right back through the middle.
Well, you take a look at Tom Kelly checking the lineup. Dave Winfield will be stepping in. There's pitching coach Dick Such right next to him. I'm sure they're having a conference about Les Straker. Still no activity. Throw over to first base. Washington back. Well, now the Twins have some activity in their bullpen. Juan Berenguer. Another throw over to first base, but Washington is back. Winfield drove in the first run back in the bottom of the second inning. Sacrifice fly, scored Mike Piarulo. Then he bounced out to the shortstop. He's 0 for 1 with an RBI.
And as soon as Randolph touched home plate, Cecilio Guante got right back up again to loosen up.
Change-up misses outside and low. 1-0. Well, if you take a look at Straker, he's making sure he comes to a complete stop. I mean, he just he throws his hands down there and just pauses for like 2 or 3 seconds. There goes the run in Washington. The throw down, not in time. Stolen base for Claudell.
You see a pretty good lead. Good jump by Claudell. Right there in that situation with the balk already called on Straker. William Tell wasn't going to shoot him out at second base.
There's Juan Berenguer warming up at the Twins bullpen. The count is 1-1 on Winfield with 2 outs, and Washington down at second base. Tie score 2 apiece. In the dirt and gets away from the catcher Laudner. Washington will move up to third. He'll have to hold there. It's that breaking ball we were talking about. Straker has a problem getting that breaking ball over.
He just came right over the top. The ball could have been blocked by Laudner right there. But again, that goes back to that rule, and it's going to hinder the pitchers, especially the young ones. It's going to take away a little bit of concentration from the veterans, but certainly more so than the young ones. And pitching is thin around the major leagues anyway, and here they come in with a rule that'll hurt them even more.
Well, it's been scored a wild pitch by Les Straker. 2 balls and a strike now on Winfield. Foul back and out of play. Count will go to 2-2. .531 RBIs over the last 5 seasons. He's already got 1 RBI in this ball game. 2 for the year. Chopper, but foul.
Big David had a long way to go with those hands right there. Oh, God, you know what I mean? He was moving them in and out, just trying to fight it off of it.
Baron Garrett continues to throw in the Twins bullpen, along with Guante in the Yankee bullpen. High change up for a ball. 3 balls and 2 strikes. It looks like Straker, to me, Hawk, is getting a little bit tired now.
Well, it threw the fastball in the dirt earlier. Now all of a sudden he comes back with that curveball, gets it up high. He's all over the place right now. It looks like he's starting to throw it. First few, I tell you, I have the whole ball game. Even though he has pitched well, 2 runs on just 5 hits through 5 2/3, I have not thought that he has been in a good rhythm and routine out there.
This could be his last hitter. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Winfield. Chopper to Gaetti at third base. Bobbles it momentarily. The long throw over to Larkin, and they get Winfield. Well, they have a tie score here in the bottom of the 6th inning at the end of 6, 2 apiece. Well, you see the new pitcher for the New York Yankees, Cecilio Guante. Take a look at his 1987 stats. 3 wins, 2 losses, 5.73 earned run average. Guante was hurt most of 1987 for the Yanks, but he had a fabulous spring, and he showed Billy Martin a lot. Candelaria went 6 full innings, gave up a couple of runs on 8 base hits, but he's gone. He will not be involved in the win or loss of this ball game as Guante comes in. Hawk?
Thank you very much, Bobby. Cecilio Guante had himself just an outstanding spring. Guante, in the spring, 2-0 with an ERA of 0.00. In 13 games, he worked 18 innings, giving up just 9 hits, 6 walks, and had 17 strikeouts. So a good outing by the big left-hander John Candelaria, first trip out. Going the 6 innings, as Bobby mentioned. Giving up the 2 runs, 1 on a balk. 8 hits, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. And a good job by Roden yesterday. A masterful job by Rick Roden yesterday. A good job by Candelaria today. Here for the Twins in their top of the 7th inning, it'll be Newman. Then the top of the order, Gladden and Gagne. Corners in close. Mattingly, even with the bag at first. Pirulo in on the grass at third as he takes the pitch up high and the count 1-0. 2 runs, 8 hits, no errors for Minnesota. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Yankees. And in the 6th inning at Fenway Park, it's 4-2 Tigers over the Red Sox. Check that. 5-2 now in the 6th. Alexander against Hurst. There's a strike and the count 2-1. First inning down at Houston, Astros leading San Diego 3-0. Glenn Davis a 2-run homer in the first inning. Andy Hawkins against Bob Knepper. Right side, Randolph. 2 hopper, 1 gone.
Right fielder, Dan Gladden.
Leadoff hitter Dan Gladden. Gladden 3 for 3 this afternoon. 2 singles, a double, and has scored one of the 2 Minnesota runs. Bags in close at third. Gladden a good speed. And a count 0-1. Yankees defensively in the outfield. Henderson in left, Washington in center, Winfield in right. Around the horn, Mattingly at first, Randolph at second, Santana the shortstop, Pirulo at third. Little looper, this is trouble. Little duck snort. Right out in between Randolph and Winfield as Gladden with that speed moves easily into second base. 2 doubles this afternoon. He's 4 for 4.
Well, there's not anything you can do about a hit like this. This is right off the end of the bat. placed perfectly, and
Shortstop,
Gladden has a
Greg
perfect day
Gagne.
going. 4 for 4, 2 doubles.
And we just hear from Harvey Green, Yankees media relations guy. That's the second time Dan Gladden has gone 4 for 4 in his major league career. Here's the shortstop, Greg Gagne. Struck out twice in singles. High in the left. Henderson back. Now gets in position as Gladden fakes. He'll hold. And that's out number 2.
the center fielder, Kirby Puckett.
Here's Kirby Puckett. First 2 times up, Candelaria just blew him away. Then on a 3-2 fastball in the 5th inning, hit a fly ball relatively deep into right center field.
Well, Kirby is a quality hitter, but he couldn't handle Candelaria's fastball. We'll see what he can do with Galante's breaking ball.
As we mentioned, it just looked like he was having a lot of trouble picking up the ball off Candelaria. Puckett last year, 332, 28 homers, 99 RBIs. Outfield, Claudel now shifts around over towards Winfield and right. Big gap in left center is the slider outside, and the count 1-0.
Well, first of all, Puckett is not high enough to see that high fastball. He shouldn't swing at it.
And a little stool up there, huh? Stool and a chin spout.
There it is again.
Got to get him some longer spikes on those shoes.
Whatever.
Meanwhile, he can play.
He can play. He's quality.
I love Bob Casey, the PA announcer in the Metrodome, when he announces fucking Kirby Puckett. That's out of play right side, and the count, a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, they love him in Minnesota, and rightfully so. They have built the ball club around him. He has come on and turned that franchise around.
Well, they started with Herbeck, the local kid from Bloomington, Minnesota. Then they went out and got themselves Brunansky,
Gladden.
They have come up with some good players in the system, probably as many as anybody over the last 20 years. Up high, Skinner.
You know, you're going to attribute that to Andy MacPhail, the young general manager, only 35 years old for the Minnesota Twins.
Well, not the last 20 years.
No, I'm not talking about the last 20 years. I'm just talking about the last 2 or 3 years.
Andy's done a good job. He went out and made some big deals yesterday, and last year, I should say, and they strengthened up their ball club, increased their payroll tremendously, which is what you're going to do sometime.
Well, I would think Andy would know a little bit about baseball. He comes from a baseball family.
He's got some good blood in him, doesn't he?
Larry MacPhail, Lee MacPhail, former American League president and GM for the New York Yankees.
Payoff pitch to Puckett. Gladden at second. High and deep in the center field. Washington, good jump. Has room. Claudell's there, waves Henderson off, falls it in, and that'll retire the side. Nothing across to Minnesota. The one-out double by Gladden by the boards. They leave one, and after 6.5, there it is.
Your attention, please. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
All right, now let's check the Whiz scoreboard for you. You see in the 6th inning, the Tigers over the Red Sox 5-2 at Fenway. Seattle at Oakland later on. Houston, as we mentioned, leading on the strength of Glenn Davis' 2-run homer in the 1st inning, leading the Padres 3-0 in the 2nd. As you look right here at the new Minnesota pitcher, 33-year-old veteran right-hander Juan Berenguer. Bobby brought himself back into prominence a little bit last year during the World Series. And I should say the championship series as well.
Well, there's no doubt that Juan Berenguer was a major factor, along with Jeff Reardon. Actually, Berenguer, the setup man for the stopper in their bullpen, Jeff Reardon, along with Keith Atherton, Berenguer and Atherton setting up for the closer, Reardon. But a great year he had. 1987, you saw the stats. He was 8-1 on the year, with only 4 saves. But like I said, he was there to set it up for the closer, Jeff Reardon.
And in the spring, in 7 games, he had a record of 1-1, 4.09 ERA. He worked in just 11 innings. Gave up 7 walks, struck out 7. Berenguer, who at times can throw very hard. I never will forget in the championship series against his former mates, the Tigers, one of the most emotional outings that I have ever witnessed. I mean, he was so pumped it was unbelievable out there.
Well, last year, Berenguer averaged 1 strikeout per inning. He'll have to face Jose Cruz here in the bottom of the 7th inning with the score tied at 2 apiece, the Yankees and the Twins.
Cruz 1 for 2.
Jose Cruz.
Hit a little comebacker to Straker back in the 2nd inning. Then in the 5th inning, hit a little loop right in center field at Puckett. Let it fall in front of him. So Cruz, 40-year-old veteran who had just a great spring training for the Yankees. He was 30 for 70. Outfield spread out and straight away. Goes through the high heat. And count 1-1. As we mentioned, Berenguer can definitely rush it up there.
I think Jose Cruz was an excellent pickup for the Yankees.
That's out of play left side.
Yankees were looking for a left-handed bat, and I think they got a little bit more in Jose Cruz. He can also play in the outfield. Even though he's 40 years old, he gets the job done. He just got moved out by youth in Houston.
That's into left center field. Puckett, long way to go. Now he will catch up with it. And that's out number 1. Puckett with a good jump.
Catcher, Joel Skinner.
That'll bring up the catcher, Joel Skinner. Hit a line drive to Gene Larkin, the first baseman. That was in the 3rd inning. Then drew a walk in the 5th. Looped into center field. That'll fall for a base hit. Puckett comes in. Ball bounces away from him. Skinner, no speed, rounds first. He'll move into 2nd. And he will hold right there as Puckett gets it in. That ball hit some grass out there, skipped away from Puckett. Nothing he could do about it.
Take a look at this. A weird hop on the new sodded turf here at Yankee Stadium. And it just bounces away from Kirby Puckett. Not a whole lot he can do. And luckily for the Yankees, because Skinner is now at 2nd base.
Now Rafael Santana has been called back to the dugout. That ball, besides taking that funny hop on the grass, Skins hit it right off the end of the bat. Had that spin on it and just kicked dead away from it.
Well, you know, at the first part of the year, you're looking at brand new grass where the grass has been newly sodded and put in. And I'm sure that's exactly what's happened. The grass is not completely level right now, so it probably hit on the side of one of those unlevel pieces of sod out there and just bounced away from Kirby Puckett.
Well, Bobby, it's not
called a Yankee bounce.
It's very, very similar to grainy greens on the golf course. And right now, you would call the outfield in all the ballparks with natural grass. Right now, they're very grainy because, as you mentioned, it's new, hadn't been played on. It's not packed down, so to speak. So you'll see some funny hops out there. But Gary Ward has been called out of the dugout. He will pinch hit for Santana.
Batting for Santana, number 22, Gary Ward.
Gary, the cleanup hitter yesterday, the designated hitter. 1 for 4 in the opener. You see his numbers from last year.
Well, Ward is... His role on this ball club has changed since 1987. He was one of the starting players last year. Now he's reduced to a pinch hitter's role and a sometimes DH.
2-2 tie here in the bottom of the 7th. 1 out, Skinner at 2nd. Breaking ball. Misses and a count 1-0. Anybody who goes up there looking for a breaking ball off number 40 right there, not thinking very well. You got to sit on that number 1, and if you get it, go to Hackett. Another breaking ball. This one in and over. And the count 1-1. Here's a case right here, especially up until 2 strikes. But if he makes 3 good pitches with a breaking ball to the right-handed hitter, most of the time he just go over and grab some bench. Another breaking ball, and the count 2-1 with the left fielder Ricky Henderson on deck.
Well, if Ward had gone to the plate looking for breaking balls, he'd have got 3 in a row.
If that's the case, he'd probably come with 3 heaters right there. Berenguer basically just the two-pitch pitcher. Another breaking ball. This one hit hard foul down the right field line. And the count evens at 2.
I got a sneaky feeling that the Minnesota Twins scouts don't think that Ward can hit a breaking ball.
They might be right, especially off Berenguer. If he gets him over, as I say, that's the key. Outfield swung around to the right. Ward almost like you would consider a left-handed hitter. Watch out. Ball hits him. Skinner, who had moved into third base, will go back to second. So now the Yankees have Skinner at second, Ward at first. Just one out. And here comes Ricky Henderson.
Probably will have a pinch runner for Ward at first base. This ball, fastball, trying to go up and in on Ward. He just got a little bit up and in too far.
So not a whole bunch of speed on the base pass. As Ricky steps in, 3 times this afternoon he has bounced to Gaetti. Outfield bunches a bit more for Henderson. Puckett straight away. Once again, very deep out there. Davidson, a good arm in right field. Puckett, a good arm in center. And Gladden threw out Ward in yesterday's ball game. Breaking ball misses. But Juan Berenguer is going to take a chance right here on getting beat on his worst pitch. As he was featuring the breaking pitch exclusively to Ward, threw him one fastball and drilled him. Now we're going to have a pinch runner as Bobby Meacham comes out. That'll put a little more speed on the base pass.
Attention, please. Ladies and gentlemen.
Well, with Santana out of the ball game now, Bobby Meacham will probably stay in this ball game and play shortstop. But Bobby represents a little bit more speed at first base than Gary Ward does.
Well, it just might take you out of that double play situation, especially, or even take you out of a force on a ball hitting the hole where the only play would be to second. Fastball high, and the count 2-0. You can bet all 3 of those Minnesota outfielders are geared to come straight in. They've definitely got a shot at Skinner on a base hit. They won't get him this time. That's in the gap in left center field. Here comes Skins. He'll score. Here comes Meacham. He's rounding third. They're going to wave him home. He'll score. Yankees lead it 4-2 on a 2-run double by Ricky Henderson.
Henderson delivering in the clutch at fastball by Berenguer. Henderson was looking for it in the left center field. There's Skinner. He'll score. And in a good move by Billy Martin right at the last minute as he pinch runs. Bobby Meacham with that speed, he's able to score too. So the Yankees take a 4-2 lead.
One pitch earlier, maybe not.
That's true.
Same situation. Here's Willie. Willie 1 for 3, a double. As he doesn't get the breaking ball. But Berenguer, this is one of the inequities, so to speak, or one of the inconsistencies of Juan's appearances on the mound. He gets down in the count, 2-0. You got good fastball hitting club out there. And another breaking ball. This one misses and the count 1-1.
Well, the Twins will have to keep an eye on Ricky Henderson at second base. Newman had faked a throw to second base. He was out of position when Berenguer delivered the ball towards home plate. They'll have to keep Henderson close.
It just opens up a lot more room for Willie on that side of the infield.
Also gets Willie maybe a few more fastballs.
Well, thus far, he's thrown him 2 curveballs, and now he came with a heater. Four 7-0 for the Yankees, 2 9-0 for the Twins. Newman jockeying in as Henderson takes off. There's a base hit over the head of Newman. Henderson scores, and the Yankees lead it 5-2.
Well, the Yankees just pouncing all over Berenguer.
The first baseman, John Mattingly.
Another clutch hit by Yankee Willie Randolph over the second baseman's head. Al Newman scoring Henderson from second base.
Here's Mattingly, 0 for 3. Now time is called. No activity in the... Yes, there is. They have changed the bullpen area right out there. Now we can see the ball going back and forth. Three runs here in the bottom of the 7th inning. They're going to have the appeal play. It does not work. Started with 1 out. The double by Skinner. Ward hitting for Santana was hit by a pitch. The 2-run double by Henderson. And the RBI single by Randolph on just a rolling breaking pitch from Berenguer. As he comes with a heat on the count 0-1. Pull a swing on him and had Mattingly well out in front. And it's 0-2. But now, are they calling the balk? They're calling the balk. Second base umpire John Hirschbeck said you did not come to that stop, that definite pause.
Yeah. That complete and discernible stop.
So the count will move back to 0-1 on Mattingly and Randolph into second. Let's take another peek at it. Say that's what you call really close. On both of them we've seen.
All 4 of them.
Well, actually 3 of them we've seen. We've seen 4 balks, but one of them was legitimate. The other 3 very questionable.
Action in the Twins bullpen. Left-hander Tippy Martinez.
Inside, 2 balls and a strike to Don Mattingly. Don, as we mentioned, 1 for 4 in yesterday's game. That's hit into right field. Mark Davidson's there. Randolph halfway. He'll move back into second base, and it's out number 2.
Third baseman, Mike Pagliarulo.
There's a little southpaw, Tippy Martinez, who made this ball club in the spring. A little rocky yesterday. Had trouble throwing strikes. But right here, Berenguer, we'll see how he wants to go about Mike Pagliarulo. Tags, 1 for 2, a double, a run scored, a sacrifice fly to knock in 1. Turn that one over, all-speed pitch. And count 1 strike. See 4 big ribbies in the first 2 ball games. Big gap in left center. And quickly Berenguer on top, 0-2.
Well, Pags has a chance this year because over the winter he had some bone chips taken out of his right elbow. That allows him to straighten that right elbow out a little bit more, and so he can get more extension on his bat.
Got him. Pull the string on him way out in front, and that'll do it for the Yankees here in the 7th inning, but not before they do a lot of damage. Coming up with 3 runs on 3 hits. A hits batsman. No Minnesota errors. A man left after 7. 5-2 New York.
Isn't my hair marvelous? Peter did it, you know.
Did we meet in Cannes last year, or was it Bora Bora?
So let's talk about you, darling. What do you think of my dress? Well, Ron said, let's go to Nate's house.
Those my Ferraris are in the shop. I hate that.
I've been modeling as a stepping stone. Sure. But what I really want to do is direct.
Oh, you're right. All right.
If it's out there, it's in here. The 9X Yellow Pages. Why would anyone need another?
It's the top of the 8th inning here at Yankee Stadium, and there's a little fan that could care less what the score is. I'll tell you. But Mama's happy. Yankees on top 5-2, coming up with 3 big runs in the bottom of the 7th inning. There you see a defensive change for the Yankees. Bobby Meacham will remain in the game at shortstop, and of course he will be in Rafael Santana's spot in the order. For Minnesota here in the 8th, it'll be Gaetti, Larkin, and Brunansky, the scheduled hitters. Gary this afternoon has walked, struck out, singled, and scored a run. 5-8-0 for the Bronx Bombers, 2-9-0 for the Twins. Outfield straight away. Lante throws, line shot right at Henderson. Gaetti hit it right on the money, wrong spot.
The Yankees now have activity in their bullpen. Dave Righetti warming up. There's Dave.
Here's the switch-hitting first baseman, Gene Larkin. Larkin struck out, bounced to short, and popped to Mattingly at first. Pitch just misses the inside corner. In case you did not join us early, Larkin, who attended Columbia University. Matter of fact, he broke all of Lou Gehrig's records there. Youngster out of Astoria, New York. Big fellow. 6'3", 210 pounds. Sort of noobed that one over there, I'll tell you.
That's not the kind of ball you want to swing at. It's a little chilly day here. Not
with that kind of swing.
The hands, they'll fill up with some bees in there if you don't watch out. Get out of that kitchen.
When he takes those gloves off, those fingernails will come right with it. Little looper in the left field. Hey, Ricky's there. I'd say I used to hate early in the season when the weather was cold, especially you go into places like Cleveland when they had those hard throwers on that staff over there like McDowell and Tiant and Siebert. Mercy. Here's Brunansky. Breaking pitch misses in the count 1-0. Brunansky 2 for 3 this afternoon and an RBI. Sidearm fastball in and over, and the count evens at 1.
You ought to play in San Francisco because it's cold like this every day out there.
Well, Bobby, they took a survey a few years ago on the weather around the 26 major league cities. Uh-oh. You can put this one on the board. That is way back. 5-3. Yankees lead it. Brunansky, his first homer of the year. He got most of it.
Well, Brunansky is no stranger to home runs. He's a big guy. That would have been way out of the Metrodome. But it was way back in left field here at Yankee Stadium. But Guante, he doesn't want to put any guys on base. I mean, he's challenging these guys. Challenges Brunansky, and he probably wished he hadn't have now.
Well, the worst thing you want to do right there is you mentioned is walk somebody. Plus the fact he dropped down on him, and if you're going to drop down, you better not leave it on the inside corner to the right-handed hitter. Here's Timmy Laudner. Timmy had a double back in the 4th inning. Takes a fastball strike, and the count evens at 1.
What about that survey?
But the survey they took a few years ago on the weather around the major league cities of all 26 clubs, the worst weather among any of the towns was Cleveland, Ohio. I know it's hard to believe with the weather out in San Francisco consistently the way it is. And you played out there. I've never played in San Francisco. But that was a survey report.
I've had a lot more warmer days in Cleveland than I did in San Francisco, so I'm just one individual. But I got to disagree.
Down to Pag. Nice play. Backs up on it. Little Peg over to Magna. He puts the tag on Laudner, and then he'll retire the side. Oh, what a nice play by Pagliarulo. Watch him back up on it. Makes it look easy. But the Twins come up with a run on Brunansky's first homer of the year, and after 7.5, it's the Yankees 5, Minnesota 3.
Hey, how you doing? Good.
The Yankees swing into the season with two great giveaways. This Saturday, April the 9th at 7:30 and Sunday, April the 10th at 1:30. The Yankees host the Milwaukee Brewers, and all fans at the stadium will receive a Yankee calendar, compliments of Ivory Soap. And on Sunday, April the 24th, the Yankees host the Toronto Blue Jays at 1:30, and all fans on hand will receive a Yankee cap, compliments of the tri-state area Goodyear retailers. Tickets are on sale now, and for more information, please call the Yankees ticket office at 212-293-6000 or call Ticketmaster. Their number is 212-307-7171. Hawk?
Bottom of the 8th inning. Claudel Washington will lead it off. It'll be Washington, Winfield, and Cruz to face the right-hander Juan Berenguer. 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Yankees. 3 runs, 10 hits, no errors for the Twins. Fastball up out of the strike zone, and the count 1-0. Claudel, 1 for 3, a single, a stolen base. That was back in the 6th inning. Can't get it, and the count evens at 1. Yankees took the lead with a singleton in the 2nd. Minnesota tied it up with 1 in the 3rd. They took the lead 2-1 with a run in the top of the 6th inning. Yankees came right back and tied it up, and then they put the 3 spot on the board in the 7th. As Berenguer reaching back and blowing now, and the count of 1-2 strikes. Outfield spread out. Got him. Nothing but heat. Second strikeout for Berenguer. That's the 3rd strikeout by Minnesota pitching this afternoon. In case you just joined us, the 2 starters, John Candelaria and Les Straker, both went 6 innings, had very similar lines, giving up the 2 runs. Although Candelaria had 7 strikeouts. Pitchers of record are the 2 relievers, Cecilio Guante and Berenguer, as Dave Winfield steps in. Had a sacrifice fly in the 2nd, and twice he has bounced out, once to short and once to 3rd. It is definitely getting a little nippy right now.
That's some of that San Francisco Bay wind coming in here.
Up high with a fastball. The count evens at 1. Well, according to the weather reports, it's supposed to
be 70 degrees, isn't it?
No. Well, it's supposed to be in around 70 today, but it's supposed to get cold tonight and rain tomorrow.
Those guys never get it right.
2 strikes to Winfield. I think the rain, according to the weather report that I listened to last night, is supposed to come in the morning and move out. So what a difference in the 2 days weather-wise. Yesterday, just absolutely magnificent. A boat right back through the middle.
The designated hitter, Jose Cruz.
That'll bring up the DH, Jose Cruz. Jose 1 for 3. He got his first hit in the Yankee uniform back in the 5th inning. You know, ironically enough, Cruz, 40 years old, oldest member on the Yankee ball club, and yet he can still catch up to Berenguer upstairs with that fastball because he's a smart hitter and he looks for it up there.
Cruz will hit some home runs here at Yankee Stadium.
He sits on pitches, Bobby. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, he's a smart hitter. He takes advantage.
And especially when you get a guy out there who's basically a 2-pitch pitcher. Well, let's face it, the guys who got 4 pitches who can get them over are your stars.
Well, Cruz will be looking for a pitch inside that he can pull towards the right side. With Larkin holding Winfield on, there's a bigger gap on the infield.
That fastball up and away, and the count 2-1. And the National League, that's in Montreal tonight. Houston still leading San Diego 3-0. That game in the 3rd inning down at the Astrodome. That's Nepper against Andy Hawkins. Goes
Whoa.
He was trying to take him right on out of here.
Yeah, he was.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Cruz. Winfield fakes, does not go. Count remains 2-2. And of course, tomorrow night, 7:30, it'll be Richard Dotson making his first start in the New York uniform. He will be opposed by former Yankee Joe Niekro. Dotson 11-12 last year with the White Sox. And Niekro's record in 1987, 7-13. Don't forget about the Milwaukee Brewers. They'll be coming in for a weekend series as Winfield fakes again. It's a little looper into short left center field. Gladden, good speed. He's there. Plenty of room. And that's out number 2. In the Milwaukee series, it'll be the youngster, the very exciting youngster, Al Leiter, on the mound Friday night against Bill Wegman. Then on Saturday, Tommy John against the tough Teddy Higuera. And in the finale of that 3-game set on Sunday, it'll be Rick Rhoden against the right-hander Mike Birkbeck.
Thursday's attendance, 32,756, 32,756.
As you can hear in the background, 32,756 in attendance this afternoon for opening day 2, the opener for the kids, with Mickey Mouse throwing out the first ball. Here's Joel Skinner. Pitch out, nothing on. Quick throw by Lodge. Skins this afternoon had a good day at the plate. Hit a line drive to the first baseman in the 3rd, walked in the 5th, and doubled to center field in the 7th inning. Actually, it was a little single that squirted away from Puckett. Pretty good hack right there, and the count 1-1.
Well, the last 2 at-bats, Joel Skinner has been aggressive at the plate. He has to be aggressive. Joel cannot wait for the pitch to be a perfect pitch for him. He's got to come out of that dugout like the Minnesota Twins do out of their dugout, being aggressive and hacking. He finds himself always behind in the count.
There's a good hook by Berenguer. Locked him up, and the count 1-2.
Berenguer, he looks mean. You can't look at him in the eye.
Now the breaking ball caught the outside part of the plate, and that'll do it for the Yankees. Nothing across after 8. They lead Minnesota 5-3.
I wonder.
Right now, let's check some Major League scores for you. That game down the bottom of the 8th inning at Fenway Park. Tigers leading the Red Sox 5-2. That's Alexander against Hurst. Pitching change now for the Tigers, Willie Hernandez. Other action, you see Houston still leading San Diego 3-0 in the 4th. That's Nepper against Andy Hawkins. And in the only other action, top of the 1st inning at the Coliseum in Oakland, Seattle leading Oakland 1-0. Starting pitchers in that game, Steve Trout, former Yankee, and Kurt Young for the A's. But right here, a pitching change for the Yankees. The big left-hander Dave Righetti coming on in relief of Cecilio Guante. Righetti, 3rd Yankee pitcher of the afternoon. Candelaria started, went 6. Guante went 2. And now Righetti. 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors. For the Yankees, 3 runs, 10 hits, no errors for the Twins. And for Minnesota here in the top of the 9th inning, the scheduled hitters, Mark Davidson, Al Newman, in the top of the order, Dan Gladden. Yankees took the lead back in the 2nd with a run. Minnesota tied it up in the 3rd. Minnesota took the lead in the 6th. The Yankees came right back in the bottom of the 6th to tie that at 2. And then the Yankees with 3 big runs, highlighted by Ricky Henderson's 2-run double. And Minnesota, on Tom Brunansky's first home of the year, put one on the board last inning. So there it is, 5-3 New York. Here's Davidson. Davidson 0 for 3. He's popped to left, struck out, and flied to center.
Well, Rags, he won't trick you either. He's going to come right at you. He has been some kind of pitcher for the Yankees out of the bullpen, becoming their stopper back in 1984. Those 46 saves, a record by Righetti in 86. How the bullpen has really changed in baseball.
It's amazing.
Changed
We were
the
talking
complexion.
about that the other night. It's just amazing how the game itself has changed as he misses with 2 fastballs and the count 2-0. Yes, sir. You're liable to face 3 or 4 different pitchers in a game today. When you and I broke in, very seldom you face more than 2. As Righetti has trouble throwing a strike and the count 3-0.
You know, Rags will have problems early in the season for the simple reason over the past couple of years that it takes him a while to build up that arm strength.
There's the strike. Well, if you look at him in the spring, worked in 11 games, 16 2/3 innings, had a record of 2-0, 4.86 ERA. That's just on the corner, and the count runs full to Mark Davidson. You want him swinging the bat. As a rule, in both categories in baseball, your power pitchers, as a rule, there are some exceptions, and your power hitters, for the most part, most of the time, it takes them just a little while to get rolling. Check swing off the foot of Davidson, and that'll smart for just a shade on this chilly afternoon. There's Rick Rennick, Twins third base coach. Of course, George Bell, as I said, there are exceptions. He just came out smoking in that first
Well, he
game.
was mad. I mean, if you were as mad as he was, you'd probably hit that many home runs, too. I mean, he doesn't want to be a DH. He's going to show him that he's really not a DH.
Boy, if there's one ballpark in this league that you'd think it would be tough to hit 3 in, he was in it.
Oh, he was.
Right side, easy play for Willie Randolph. And a big out for first out. Good job by Righetti, falling behind 3-0 and coming back to get him. Switch hitting second baseman Al Newman. He's drawn the collar thus far. Popped to second, bounced to third, and bounced to second. Pags comes in on the grass. Mattingly just a step or 2 behind the line at first. Outfield shortens up, swung around to the right. Strike.
Well, Newman's a peppery type of hitter. He had a good year in '87 hitting against the Yankees. 328 for 25.
Good fastball by Righetti, and quickly it's 0-2. Just missed. Ball and 2 strikes.
Man, oh, man. Can you imagine being a hitter and Righetti painting the outside corner on you? That fastball?
A lot of offers. That's into short right center field. Winfield can't get there. Washington up with it, gets it back into the shortstop, Bobby Meacham. He overthrew Randolph. They were running around a little bit out there. So Newman brings the tying run to the plate with that base hit. I thought this ball was going to be caught.
I did, too. That was really just a protection swing, not to strike out. It was up in the strike zone. And like we said, Newman, he's a peppery hitter, and he's hit the Yankees well since 1987. So the Twins get a chance to bring their tying run to the plate.
And this man and Dan Gladden 4 for 4 this afternoon. 2 singles, 2 doubles, and a run scored. Gladden, 30-year-old veteran. Outfield will play in just a little bit differently. Playing straight away. Bit of a gap between Henderson and Washington. But right here, Winfield deep, Henderson deep. Claudell about medium depth out there. This is a spot you do not want the ball hit over your head. Let's say play deep, cut across. You don't want the tying run at second. Fastball misses in the count, 1-1. The shortstop Greg Gagne on deck.
Well, a good trade by the Twins when they acquired Gladden from the San Francisco Giants back in 1987.
That's out of play. And once again, Righetti, as he was to Newman, on top in the count. Bragg is trying to gear it up to pick up save number 1.
One of many the Yankees hope.
Could be. Mitchell, Randolph, rack him up. Save number 1 for Righetti as the Yankees beat the Twins for the second day in a row. 8-0 yesterday, 5-3 this afternoon. And we'll be back to wrap it up for you right after this.
Why, right.
The line score on this afternoon's ball game for the Yankees: 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors. They stranded 6. For the Twins, 3 runs, 11 hits, no errors. They stranded 7. The winner, Cecilio Guante. He is 1-0. Juan Vergara takes a loss. He is 0-1. And credit Dave Righetti with save number 1. And Merce, I'm telling you, you're just doing it all, kid. Oh, you and Vanella are quite a duo.
Well, I'll tell you, the Yankees have played some pretty good baseball here for the first 2 games of the 1988 season. They've gotten the pitching that they've wanted. Doing everything that everybody expected them to do to start off 1988.
Well, Ricky Henderson with that big 2-run homer yesterday comes up with another 2-run double today. I mean, just a clutch hit. A couple of things that I was very excited about. First of all, Candelaria going 6 good innings out there. Still had good stuff. Lost his location there in the 6th inning when the Twins got the base hit by Gladden and the double by Brunansky. But the point is, I should say Gaetti, but I like the way Joel Skinner has looked behind the plate and at the plate the last couple of days.
Well, Billy Martin has made Joel Skinner the #1 catcher for the simple reason. He's the best defensive catcher the Yankees have. And he can call a good game. He's got the good arm that you mentioned, but we've seen Joel be a little bit more aggressive at the plate than we have in the past, and I think that'll be a big key. If Joel just forgets about his hitting ability and what he has to do as far as when he goes to the plate, if he'll just be aggressive when he goes up there, I think everything else will take care of itself.
Well, you know, being aggressive yesterday, for an example, he drew a walk with the bases loaded, got an RBI there, had another walk today in a big situation, could have turned that lineup over once again, which is one thing that the opposing pitchers don't want to do, is turn that lineup, Yankee lineup over, but also got the base hit that scored it away from Kirby Puckett. So the thing is, though, is he giving himself a chance? When he's had some good hacks the last couple of days. He's had some fastballs out over the plate. Well, last year he was going this way with them. Now he's turning the hit of that better. He's got a chance to hit the ball hard.
Well, you got to give some credit to Chris Chambliss and also Billy Martin, too, for working with Skinner. And I think if Skinner can call a good game, which Billy knows he can, and throw out the runners, they'll be happy with that.
Well, you had him last year. What happened?
I didn't have enough time to work with him.
You did. All right.
You know,
we'll more right after this.
Darryl Strawberry and the Mets take on the Phillies Sunday at 1:30, live and exclusive here on Sports Channel. Your stop for a Subway Series summer.
Back at Yankee Stadium, where 32,000 plus enjoyed this afternoon's ball game, and I thought it was a very nice situation. As you look at the line score once again, 5-9-0 for the Yankees, 3-11-0 for Minnesota. First time I've heard of it. Opening day 2, this one was just strictly, for the most part, for the kids. They had Mickey Mouse throwing out the first pitch, and they were treated to quite a ball game, as we saw again. Very important aspect, as Roden coming out yesterday with that real solid 8-0 3-hit shutout. And then, as we mentioned earlier, let's talk just a shade more about Candelaria. We mentioned he carried his good stuff through the first 6 innings, just lost the control there, a shade, Bobby.
Well, Candy struck out 7 guys in this ball game, and really Candelaria is not considered a strikeout guy in today's time. Back earlier in his career, he was, but 7 strikeouts, you know that he was blowing that fastball, and he changed his style of pitching a bit after the first 4 innings. When he got into the 5th and 6th inning, he went to his breaking ball a little bit more. Prior to that, the first 4 innings, he stayed with his good fastball up in the strike zone, too. As he mentioned, he said, I'm going to try to stay down in the strike zone, but he had enough on his fastball that he was able to blow by them.
Well, one of the things, too, is that for the most part, he's been known as 5-6 inning pitcher. I think he's better than that. I think he can get the club into the 7th, 8th, and that's going to be a big, big plus. But talking about getting the clubs into the 7th and 8th inning, you're going to have some good defense to do that. And one of the fellas yesterday who made just a grand opening day, Roberto Kelly. He's down with our partner, Ed Randall. Let's go down and join him.
Thanks so much, Huck, and you're absolutely right about defense. You showed everybody yesterday, Roberto, what you can do out there in the outfield and what is one of the most spacious outfields in all of baseball.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's my game. I got to play hard defense every day. I mean, the hits would come, but I try not to take my hit into the outfield, you know what I mean, because I can have bad days and good days at the plate, but I just try to play hard defense every day.
For this club, you were a godsend because Ricky Henderson has said in years past that he prefers left field to center field, so you're taking some pressure off him and, of course, off the outfield defense as a whole.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was been center fielder before, and, you know, I'm grateful I moved from center to left, or else I'll be in Columbus right now, but now I'm here to prove that I can play, and I'm going to go out there and make the big plays because anybody can catch a routine fly ball, but I got to prove to them, to myself, that I can make the big plays for the Yanks.
It's a special challenge for you to have to play center field at Yankee Stadium because it is so big.
Well, yeah, I mean, anyhow, I really like to run, I mean, getting those big plays. So, I mean, this is the perfect spot for me to play. So I'm going to go out there and make the big catches and, you know, help the team whenever I can.
So many great players, as you know, have played center field at Yankee Stadium, beginning with Joe DiMaggio to Mickey Mantle to our broadcast partner Bobby Mercer, and on and on and on and on. Do you feel a special sense of history playing center field for the New York Yankees?
Well, yeah, I really do. So, I mean, I have in mind that I got to be as good as those guys. So I come out here every day and try to do what they did before. So that's, you know, it's really a challenge to me. So I got to come out here and, you know, be as good as they were before.
So much has been going on in your homeland. There's been so much upheaval in Panama. Has that been something that has diverted your attention, made it tougher for you to concentrate on baseball?
Well, I talk to my folks almost every day, and, you know, they try to not have me worry about it. You know, I go like, I mean, when you're at the park, think about baseball, we okay and find stuff like that. So when I come to the park, I try to think as much baseball as I can. Then when I go home, then I call them and see how things going on. But so far, things have been pretty good so far.
Thank God. Roberto, thanks so much for being with us, and continued success. I know there were a lot of people that were expecting you to do great things in 1988. There's been a lot of pressure, and certainly I'm sure you'll be able to live up to their expectations. Thank you.
All right, you want.
Roberto Gelli, my guest. Let's go back upstairs.
Thank you very much, Eddie. Once again, the final score here this afternoon, 5-9-0 for the Yankees, 3-11-0 for the Twins. And right now, let's take a peek at some of the highlights of today's ball game. First, back in the 7th inning. Check that. This is not the 7th. This is Tom Brunansky's base hit, the double. That knocked in check that, Dan Gladden. As you see Gaetti running there. Got a little mix-up on our highlights right here as Gaetti scores. And here's Tags. This is going to be a sacrifice fly. This coming in the 6th inning. And, of course, Pags now with 4 big RBIs in the first 2 ball games. That big 3-run homer yesterday. And here is Ricky Henderson. Gets a fastball, the 2-0 fastball right there from Juan Berenguer. That'll score Skinner, who had reached on a double. And knocks in Bobby Meacham, who had gone in to run for Gary Ward, who was hit by a pitch. And that, for the most part, clinched it for the Yankees. As Willie Randolph got the breaking ball, just lifted it right over the head of Al Newman. That knocked in Henderson. That made it 5-2. And as we said earlier, Brunansky added the 3rd Minnesota long home run, the 3rd Minnesota run, his first of the year. And that was it. But our Bud play of the game was such a good one. we're going to have to take just another look at it. And, of course, Ricky Henderson, who is off to a big start. Here it is. This is our Bud play of the game, the two-run double by Ricky Henderson. And also, our Texaco star of the game will be the same guy. Ricky Henderson is our Texaco star of the game. Once again, from Yankee Stadium, the final of today's ball game for the Yankees. 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Minnesota Twins. 3 runs, 11 hits, and no errors. And remember, tonight at 8, the Islanders shoot it out with the Devils in round 1 of Stanley Cup action. Tomorrow, the Nets battle superstar Dominique Wilkins and the Hawks at 7:30. Also on Friday at 7:30, the Yankees battle Paul Molitor and the Milwaukee Brewers. And on Sunday afternoon at 1:30, the New York Mets slug it out with Mike Schmidt and the rest of the Philadelphia Phillies. So for my partners Bobby Mercer and Ed Randall, this is Hawk Ken Harrelson saying so long until Friday, and thanks for watching New York Yankees Baseball on Sports Channel, the official channel of the New York fan.
New York Yankees baseball has been brought to you by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. By your Tri-State Toyota dealers, who invite you to come in and test drive a Toyota and ride with the best. By the Whiz, nobody beats the Whiz. By Dodge, for 1988, it's gotta be a Dodge. By 9X Yellow Pages, if it's out there, it's in here. By today's TWA, find out how good we really are. And by New York Telephone, public phone.